What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3HH Chapter 71 Hell Spikes 4 Guanshu, 4th More Seeking First Order. This girl, he felt that he was about to smash two of his lower jaw teeth. Killer B looked at Hinata's small fists in disbelief, afraid that they were not 1/3 of their own, and thought in disbelief. This little girl is so powerful. Before Killer B could think about it again, Hinata uttered a low voice, and the other palm was slashed towards her side. In an instant, Killer B didn't have time to think about it, but instinctively raised his elbow and blocked Hinata's palm. Puff boom. But even so, the shock waves produced by the fist waves of both sides still set off waves of air on the surface. The ground of the playground began to crack rapidly like spider web fragments. My god, although she has been occupying the position of chief student in the past few years and has never fallen, I really didn't expect her to be so strong. Omoe's eyes widened, and he didn't notice that the lollipop in his mouth had fallen to the ground. And Karui and other spectators next to him don't have to say much. Not to mention these stinky little ghosts, even the regular ninjas watching around. How many people dare to say that they can hit Killer B? If you don't say let these guys have two hands, why did you break your promise? Ha ha ha. Yèyuè Guāng laughed deliberately. Killer B's old face blushed, and she cursed that she would have known it for a long time. Call out, Hinata, turned into electric light, once again disappeared in place at a speed that ordinary Jonin could hardly match. When he reappeared, it appeared on the left side of Killer B like a phantom. This time, Killer B really didn't raise his hand to resist like before, but... Hinata frowned when he waved his palm, only feeling a strange touch coming from the palm of his hand. Looking forward, I saw a huge slimy octopus leg, like a shield, between myself and Killer B. Suddenly, the octopus's legs danced wildly, stretched to more than 10 meters in one breath, and buckled from top to bottom. Hinata was shocked when he saw this, and once again turned into thunder and dodged. Puffy. The position where Hinata was standing just now was hit hard by the octopus's foot. After the loud noise, a large hole more than half a meter deep appeared on the spot. Big Master, don't you need to be so shameless, right? She said ashamed. Advertisement, how? These are not hands, but feet. Octopus feet are not hands. Killer B was complacent and let the octopus feet emerging from behind wriggle with her body, looking cheap enough. The Cloud Shinobi who watched the game were also speechless for a while. Do you want to be so embarrassed? Hinata pressed her lips, then turned to look at Yèyuè Guāng. Meeting Hinata's eyes, Yèyuè Guāng smiled and nodded. At this time, Azabui, who was responsible for recording the candidates' scores, rounded the course. Hinata has no doubt the ability to become genin. I think that's the end of it. Anyway, the requirement for graduation examination is to obtain the approval of the examiner to become genin, and there is no need to distinguish the winner or loser. However, boom. The more violent lightning-style chakra exploded on the surface of Hinata's body, and even the back of her head and waist-length hair blew wildly. In the next second, in Killer B, Darui, she even secretly observed Fourth Raikage in the office of the opposite Raikage building and the ghostly eyes of Tudai. Hinata put the 4 fingers of his right hand up tightly and retracted his thumbs inward. The entire right hand knife burst out with a thunderlight that was more terrifying than the whole body. Fourth Raikage. Wait, then, that is, Tudai. That's Master Third Raikage. Darui. Hey, are you dreaming? Mabui. Really, it took less than 10 years to stab the hell into. Suddenly, I thought of the bet that Yèyuè Guāng and Fourth Raikage made a few years ago. Azabui's brown face suddenly turned red. Hey, Zalba, am I right? Killer B also asked Eight Tails Gyuki in his body with an incredible tone. However, Eight Tails did not answer him because it was more shocking than anyone present. This trick of cutting off all the 8 feet of his violent walk, and also cutting off the corner of his left head, definitely can be called the psychological shadow of his life. Hell Spikes 4 Gunshu. In the next instant, Hinata's speed was completely unreadable with the naked eye. Like a meteor, it rushes straight to Killer B. That octopus leg, under the stab of hell, was as fragile as an egg in front of a bullet. -0 seeking flowers. It was divided into 2 in an instant. Under such circumstances, Killer B also has no regard for face issues. Quickly drew out his saber, the rung was in front of the hell thrust. Advertisement however, the whole person was still pushed back by Hinata's advance. Boom, about 2 seconds later, Killer B was knocked out of the playground by Hinata and hit his back against the wall of the school building. The huge gap between the two people's body looks like a cat knocking a tiger into the sky. Although it didn't hit the wall through, it also caused countless deep cracks in the wall. When the lightning-style chakra that broke out on Hinata finally stopped, Killer B looked down. Taste, Shaw. His own saber cracked a small black mouth from the middle, then spread rapidly within a second, and completely disconnected. Asterisk. You then, behind the blade, his abdomen. The ninja suit cracked open, and blood dripped from it. My mother after a few minutes, Aziz, who was standing next to the old sister, grew up and almost dropped his chin on the ground. And the other people basically have expressions similar to his. Behind Hinata, there was still a half-meter deep, extending all the way from the original place to the wall of the teaching building, dividing the entire playground into two ravines. Suddenly, the pupils of Killer Bee's sunglasses shrank suddenly. Because he saw that the little girl was slowly retracting her little finger with a knife in her right hand. Is it possible that she still wants to use 3 kanshu? All right, however, a hand suddenly stretched out from the side, holding Hinata's small hand, which was Yèyuè Guāng. 3 fingers finger is a bit early for you now. Yèyuè Guāng gently hooked Hinata's Chong nose with his other hand and smiled. Good job. Hey, Hinata smiled brightly, like a pet, but rubbed Yèyuè Guāng's finger twice. Killer Bee exhaled heavily, although there are some careless factors in it. But this little girl, dear, is it too scary, isn't it? Did I win Hinata? This year, he is 17 years old. The slim Uchiha Spring who came out and squeezed his powder tightly, and his face was slightly pale and muttered to himself. Again. Chapter 72. Do you want to be a Fengying? 5th more First Order? Hinata showed undisputed strength and successfully became an official genin of Cloud Shinobi. You go home first, someone sent a very interesting news. Not interested in watching the graduation exams of other little ghosts, Yèyuè Guāng dragged Hinata to Sammy and the others before leaving. Congratulations, Hinata. I didn't expect you to really learn the hell stab that even Master Fourth Raikage couldn't learn. Azabui handed Hinata the brand new forehead protector. After Hinata thanked her shyly, she habitually tied the forehead protector to the center of her collar like a scarf. You are very happy, Mabui, Sam said expressionlessly. The hidden meaning in the words couldn't be more obvious. No, Azabui suddenly panicked. Only Terumi Mei showed the expression that everything was in the master, and didn't participate in this kind of low-level palace battle at all. Finally won the 650 Prophet, no Terumi Mei. The secret letter sent by Orochimaru said that he had decided to attack Luosha and said that he hoped we could help him. After quickly reading the specific content of the secret letter, Yèyuè Guāng unfolded the letter and handed it back to Yèyuè Guāng. Seeing that her face was as complicated as expected, Yèyuè Guāng went straight to the road. Go together, I don't think you want to kill him in a day or two. If he dies, Sanagakure is afraid that he will fall into chaos. Because of his old love for his hometown, Yèyuè Guāng is still a bit entangled. He is half a caddy compared to Sarutobi Hiruzen. I think Sanagakure is really dangerous if he doesn't die. Yèyuè Guāng said contemptuously. Can think of a plan for my brother-in-law to assassinate such a genius. Although there has not been a formal match, I can roughly determine what level Luosha is. Hearing this, Yèyuè Guāng also nodded with determination. Well, let's go. Do you want to be a wind shadow? On the way to the border of the Kingdom of Wind, Yèyuè Guāng was dumbfounded by the question that Yèyuè Guāng suddenly raised. He slipped and almost fell off the edge of the cliff. Uchiha Quan exclaimed. Ms. Yèyuè Guāng. Yèyuè Guāng stretched out his hand to quickly pull her back, and squeezed her profile face hard and said. Be careful, it's as stupid as when I picked you up 6 years ago. Yèyuè Guāng's face was blue suddenly, and he retorted in a low voice. Also, it's not that you suddenly said that kind of inexplicable words. No, I'm serious, I think you are also quite suitable for Fengying, at least more suitable than Luosha's second product. Advertisement Yèyuè Guāng seeks truth from facts. After all, in the past 6 years, I also took a lot of advanced ninjutsu from the Book of Seals to feed Yèyuè Guāng. I don't know how much the strength has risen compared to 6 years ago. Although I dare not say that I can definitely win Gaara, it is compared with Luosha who barely stepped into the cage-level frame. Yèyuè Guāng concluded that Yèyuè Guāng was even better. Yèyuè Guāng bit her teeth tightly to drink and did not answer for a long time. As a ninja who was loyal to the village, she certainly yearned for the name, Shadow. But Yèyuè Guāng himself didn't know why, when this opportunity was placed in front of him. He hesitated. The country of River is located between the country of Fire and the country of Wind. There is no small country where Shinobu Village uses commerce as its source of income. It is also the place where Orochimaru and Luosha meet. According to Orochimaru's letter, he let Yakushi Kabuto lurch in Sanagakure for a long time, and finally caught up with the Luosha line. He expressed his willingness to join Sand Shinobi to attack Konoha as the leader of Otogyo Village. In recent years, the Kingdom of the Wind has been persecuted by natural disasters for years. In order to save costs, the country of the Wind has repeatedly disarmed, which has caused Sanagakure's military strength to shrink again and again. Luosha has long salivated the fat meat of the Fire Nation as an ally. He also wanted to start with Konoha a long time ago. However, Konoha is weak now, but Sand Shinobi is weaker. As a result, he has not dared to make up his mind to do it. And when I heard that Orochimaru, who was once one of Konoha Sannin and now the leader of a village, was willing to join forces with him to attack Konoha. This is tantamount to falling pie in the sky. Luosha barely said a word, and temporarily handed Fengying's affairs to his confidant Baki. With only a few anbu, he hurried to the country of Sichuan. Even the purpose of going out will have time to explain clearly to his subordinates in the future. A few days later, Luosha and several of his trusted anbu team members came to a barren mountain in the country of Sichuan. This is where they and Orochimaru agreed to meet. Kazekage-sama, it's weird that the Orochimaru guy has set the meeting place here, right? A sand shinobi Anbu Jonin looked around, not to mention the silhouettes of people, and even the animals couldn't see the two mountains. He couldn't help but wonder. Perhaps it is because the matter to be discussed is too sensitive, so I chose to be in a place where there will be no interference from outsiders. Luo Sha tried to comfort herself in this way. After being invited by Orochimaru's alliance, I was too excited to think too much, and rushed over with just such a few subordinates. However, Luo Sha is more confident in his own strength. Advertisement. I think Orochimaru's strength alone is not enough to kill myself. Scorched style over steaming, a burning whistle sounded. Several huge orange fireballs suddenly turned and flew out of the blind corner of the mountain wall at the feet of Luo Sha and others. Even the entourage Luo Sha brought out were all Jonin class. But this reality came too suddenly. 5 subordinates, Danran was burned into mummies in screams in an instant. What is this ninjutsu? Including Luo Sha, the faces of the remaining 3 people suddenly fuse. It has a larger attack range and faster speed than the searing attack in the memory. But do not wait for them to make any response. The ground behind the feet suddenly wriggled like a swamp. A head stretched out from the ground with its neck stretched out, and then the whole body rushed out of the soil. Like a python catching its prey, Kusunaru's sword shoots out directly from its mouth like a shuriken. A sword pierced the throat of a sand shinobi Jonin behind Luosha's left. Call out. At this time, another handful of kuwu broke the air and flew over the head of the last sand shinobi Jonin behind Luosha's right. Humph. Such an obvious attack. A trace of disdain flashed across sand shinobi Jonin's face, and his head slightly tilted to avoid the flying kunai easily. However, when Kawuko flew past his ears, suddenly, he discovered that there were strange runes painted on the bandage on the grip of Kuwu. Before he could see what was written on it, a beautiful shadow flashed in the air, piercing his throat in the volley. Flying Thunder God / killing technique, Uchiha Spring whispered. Hey, it's too easy, right? For opponents of this level, you called me over all the way. Under the flash of electric light, but in a blink of an eye. Yèyuè Guāng was already sitting on the top of the rock, with one hand propped to his side, with a look of disgust. And Yi Kang also slowly walked out from behind the rock. Haha, I'm sorry, Guāng-kun, I'm a foolproof person. Orochimaru drew the Kusunaru sword from the throat of the dead sand shinobi Jonin. 5 seconds have not passed. The 5 Jonin brought out by Luo Sha, all died. Chapter 73. How can your oil bottle be eligible to participate in the plan? 6th more first order. But it's really enviable, Guāng-kun. Orochimaru looked at Yi Kang and Uchiha Quan who were beside Yèyuè Guāng, and said with envy. Of course, Orochimaru's admiration is not from the perspective of the opposite S**x. It is not clear whether he and Yèyuè Guāng are of the same S**x or the opposite S**x. I just envy Yèyuè Guāng's subordinates, there are so many rare ninjas. He defected to Konoha, acted as a human trafficker in the ninja world, and abducted many children as his siblings. There are also rare blood successors like Ghost Lamp and Uzumaki. But compared with Yèyuè Guāng's, it is still far behind. And Luo Sha's expression seemed to be the pause button being pressed. Completely sluggish, although the number of entourages I brought with me this time out was small. But all the average strength is in the confidant of the Jonin class. However, in just one breath, he was completely wiped out. It would be impossible for Luosha to believe it if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. But this is not surprising, although Yèyuè Guāng himself did not make a move. But whether it is the strengthened Yekura or Uchiha Spring, or the old cage-level Orochimaru, they are all powerful enough to crush these Jonin 10 existences. Not to mention the Uchiha Spring that has learned Senju Tobarama's original Flying Thunder God. And Orochimaru belongs to the type of ninja who is very good at sneak attacks. Orochimaru. I sincerely come to talk with him about the plan to attack Konoha. You have joined Yèyuè Guāng to attack my Sand Shinobi, what do you mean? Rosha turned her head and scolded Orochimaru angrily. Now that he doesn't realize that something is wrong, it is no longer as simple as the brain circuit, but a complete idiot. Faced with such a lineup, he is reluctant to escape. Nowadays, only think of a way to divert the attention of these people. Use your own golden sand technique to carry out a wide range of indiscriminate attacks in order to find a chance to escape. Haha, Luosha, how can a waste like you be eligible to participate in such an important project? If you are really required to participate, it will be just a dragging oil bottle that will drag you back. Orochimaru smirked and said, but you can rest assured that we will accept your Sand Shinobi, and they will play an important role in the plan. Luo Sha stared like a copper bell. He understood that the B********* Orochimaru not only deceived himself, but also wanted to kill the chicken to get the eggs. Advertisement take over Sanagakure's power after killing himself. You are delusional. In anger, Luo Sha suddenly folded her hands. Chakra broke out and crushed the soil under his feet into powdery slag and then turned into sand. Finally, it turns into golden sand. Compared with Gaara's need to carry the special sand into its own chakra bag and go around in the gourd. Luosha can use chakra on the spot to turn land into golden sand, which is much more convenient. But even if Jinsha restrains ordinary sand, it is not as powerful or destructive as Gaara for other enemies. For example, although mice can restrain elephants, they can't beat them except elephants. Fire style extinguish the fire. Yi Kang suddenly changed the seal, and the huge wall of fire whizzed towards Luosha. Although it can't be compared with Uchiha Madara from Impure World reincarnation in the future, the scope is vast, not inferior to the golden sand of Luosha. Luosha's complexion suddenly changed, and she quickly raised her hands and raised the sand wall to block the sea of fire. This is the secret technique fire style of the Chiba clan, used by Uchiha Kagami back then, and Flying Thunder God used by the Uchiha girl just now. While witnessing this scene, Orochimaru smiled strangely, and glanced at Yèyuè Guāng. It turns out that you killed Sarutobi's son and took the Book of Seals, Cocoon. At this time, Yikang's flame also subsided. Luosha's sand wall was almost burnt to charcoal. Hearing Orochimaru's words just now, his expression fusion roared at Yèyuè Guāng. It turns out that you were the one who did all this back then. You actually blamed us sand shinobi. After speaking, Luosha raised her right hand with a wave. The golden sand floating in the air condensed into a huge spear and sprang away. Place her spear. Scorch style, it's too hot to be steamed. Hikura's scorch style fireball swelled to the boss like an inflated hot air balloon. Turned into a wall, blocked between the Aventer and spear and Yèyuè Guāng. Your opponent is me. Yikang said coldly. After staying in Cloud Shinobi for a few years, did your arm go out? Hikura, don't forget that Sand Shinobi nurtured you. Luosha furiously said. He didn't expect Yikang to stop him, and he didn't expect that she, who was just Jonin 6 years ago, would now be evenly divided with him. It was Sand Shinobi who trained me, not you, Yikang said indifferently. Advertisement, it should be said that it is for Sand Shinobi that I am going to kill you. You are not worthy of being Fengying. Are you worthy? Luosha yelled back almost instinctively. I think it's okay. After you die, I can take Sand Shinobi and let her be the 5th Kazekage, but Fengying is my little secret, what do you think? Yèyuè Guāng added fuel to the fire. Luosha was even more angry, and launched a continuous attack like crazy. However, every time, Yikang easily blocked it. I seem to have forgotten that my first priority at the moment should be to escape, not to fight. Really want to fight, as long as a second person besides Yikang participates in the fight. He will be defeated immediately, scorch-style oversteaming and killing. Yekura changed to Jian, and the huge scorch-style fireballs were split into very small fireballs the size of a ping-pong ball. Each 653 carries an exaggerated high temperature, like a rainstorm. Her 6 years in Cloud Shinobi Village was not for nothing. Faced with Fourth Kazekage who forced her to leave her hometown, she would not be merciful. Gold placer burial. Luosha gritted his teeth and bowed his waist, patted his hands on the ground, and confronted him with the golden sand waterfall. Both sides used a wide range of attack, and the noise caused the entire mountain forest to flee in horror. The movement is too loud. If it attracts other people, it will be troublesome. Just Kun, it's better to fight quickly, right? Orochimaru reminded. Yèyuè Guāng thinks about it and feels it makes sense. Yikang and Luosha are almost the same in strength. Quan, move swiftly. Yèyuè Guāng patted Uchiha Quan's head. Uchiha Izumi nodded complimentarily, and took out a Senju Tobirama version of Flying Thunder God Kunai in each of his left and right hands. The black pearl made Kazeelan's big eyes reflect the scarlet three-hook jade, and then it spins sharply, turning into a cross-dart shape. Chapter 74 Uchiha Spring. I want to kill Itachi, 7th more seeking subscription. Everyone in the ninja world thought that Uchiha and his younger brother were the only ones left to destroy, but they didn't know that there was a third person. After Suo, Orochimaru walked to Luosha's body. Yikang and Uchiha Quan looked disgustingly, peeling Luosha's face off, and said with a weird smile. And also the owner of Mangekyo Sharingan. The reason to peel off Luosha's face is not to use transformation technique directly. It is because Orochimaru can use a special disguise technique through the face of the deceased. When detected by the perception ninja, it exudes the chakra breath of the dead. If you want to hide from Sanagakure's group of people, the ordinary transformation technique that can only change the appearance will not work. Both Yekang and Luosha's strengths are barely beyond the cage-level doorframe. Although Uchiha Spring has not yet reached this level, whether it is Mangekyo Sharingan or Flying Thunder God, it is an artifact of leapfrog killing. As soon as she joined the battle, the outcome was decided in an instant. When Orochimaru finished peeling his thick skin, Yèyuè Guāng stretched out his foot and kicked Luosha's body directly into the bottom of the cliff in front of him, turning his head and saying, "Next time we meet, it will be Chunin's exam. It was held in Konoha this year, it's really exciting." Orochimaru stretched out the snake's head and added a circle around the side. The power of Uchiha is still so intoxicating even after being annihilated. Orochimaru secretly said inwardly, and couldn't help but look at Uchiha Izumi before leaving. But he has not the guts to snatch someone from Yèyuè Guāng. But it doesn't matter, as I said earlier, isn't Konoha still alive? I really look forward to what kind of performance he will show, let's observe. A few days later, Yunokuni, in the female room of a small hotel in a certain village. What will happen to Sanagakure in the future? As soon as Luosha dies, the strongest in the village should be Baki, or a 1,000-generation-old woman who has completely retired. At the dining table, Yikang couldn't help but worry. Teacher Yekang, don't you go to be Fengying? Uchiha Quan curiously asked. In the past few years since I left Sand Shinobi, Luosha has declared that I have died in the mission all the time, and I'm used to staying under that man and doing things. Yikang didn't feel embarrassed to say the second half. Advertisement, tell me about you, almost 6 years have passed. Have you decided on your future path? Yèyuè Guāng immediately changed the subject. Me. Uchiha Quan's big Kazilon eyes were full of confusion. These years, she just followed Yèyuè Guāng behind, as a member of Cloud Shinobi Anbu, performing tasks like a machine. In fact, she is using this method to numb herself. She didn't want to face the cruel truth about her friend killing her mother. Uchiha's genocide has many factors in it, but your mother was indeed killed by Uchiha Itachi. At least, the person who killed her with the knife that night was Uchiha, but you decide which one you choose in the end. Yèyuè Guāng only learned the truth behind Uchiha's extermination through small talk with Yèyuè Guāng. But that night, from the perspective of an onlooker, she only felt that Uchiha Itachi was really not a thing. No matter how well you understand the righteous reasons, someone who can raise a butcher knife to your parents can be a good thing. Especially at the end, he could obviously let go of the word Uchiha Spring, but because of the disgusting reason, cannot reveal the truth about Uchiha's genocide, he planned to take her life. Uchiha Izumi reported the wine tightly and closed his eyes. The night of genocide, Uchiha Itachi raised a knife to herself, and the scene of her mother dying in the basement chamber of the shrine. It keeps flashing in my mind like a slideshow. My father is not from the Uchiha clan. After my mother got married, he and his parents moved out of Uchiha. Later, his father died in the Third Ninja World War and moved back to the clan. It can be said that Uchiha Spring was raised by his mother Uchiha Hazuki. Uchiha Itachi does have a special meaning to himself. But in any case, he is no better than his mother. I'm going to kill Itachi. When Uchiha Izumi opened his eyes, his emotions prompted him to turn his eyes into Mangekyo in the form of a cross dart. Ming, however, just after speaking this sentence, Uchiha Quan suddenly covered his belly and said with an embarrassed expression. Teacher Yèyuè Guāng, did you take that? Yèyuè Guāng couldn't help but reluctantly said. Go outside and buy it. Soon after Uchiha Quan ran out, Yèyuè Guāng twisted the doorknob and walked into the room. The guy Orochimaru sent information and has successfully replaced Rosha. Have you considered Feng Ying's affairs? Arrange it for you? Is not suitable for this position. Yèyuè Guāng was a little panicked. Advertisement. The Yèyuè official, who has experienced a lot of battles, noticed something wrong with Yèyuè Guāng at a glance, and then asked. What's up? Auntie here, Yèyuè Guāng. Okay, here it is, just another one. Yèyuè Guāng is a B*********. Sometimes you can't wait to split your legs for him when you were good to the girl. Sometimes the purple smell makes you want to strangle him. Where is the other one? Yèyuè Guāng turned to look around the room and couldn't help asking. She's here, and she's going shopping. Yi Kongchang resisted not letting himself get angry. Yèyuè Guāng rolled his eyes and walked over to hold one side of Yèyuè Guāng with his hands. Have you heard of Dayu controlling the water? Yèyuè Guāng's face suddenly looked confused. Yèyuè Guāng smirked and said, Today is Dayu, you can't cure your water. The main reason that the experience was so devastating 6 years ago was because there was too little water. The number of words that can be written at least 5 chapters is omitted here. Wang Lihao. Standing at the door, Uchiha Quan, who was holding a bag of octave space in his hand, froze at the door. Hearing the mixed symphony that comes from time to time inside, it is neither retreat nor advancement. I was stiff for about 10 minutes, but it didn't disappear. She didn't even know what was thinking in her head, so she pressed her ear to it. However, the heels took root as if they were stuck in the doorway. I don't know how long it will take to stop before Uchiha Quan blushes and looks at the clock on the wall. It was almost 3 hours after 10 o'clock in the evening. I can go in by myself. Fart, can you only wait for the other person to come out? But after waiting, the two of them didn't seem to come out. What to do then? Should I go to Yèyuè Guāng's room by myself? Spray. How does it feel? Weird. Chapter 75. The most exciting Chunin exam, the 8th is the first order. 2 days from the country of Yunokuni to the country of thunder. Uchiha Quan was nervous and didn't take the initiative to say a word. Even Yèyuè Guāng and Yèyuè Guāng, who were busy doing the anthropological movement, didn't notice it for the first time. Seeing her like this, she will notice the strangeness even if she poses. Yèyuè Guāng said that he has already practiced. After all, he has had Hinata listening to the corner several times. Got used to. But Yèyuè Guāng wanted to die in embarrassment, thinking of the serious teacher expression that he made in front of Uchiha Spring on weekdays. She just felt that her image was completely ruined. I just got the forehead protector this year and officially became Yèyuè Hinata of Cloud Shinobi Genin. Kagaya Kimimaro taught by Killer B, and White taught by Terumi Mei. The 3 people who don't usually communicate much were called to Raikage's office today. When the 3 of people walked into the office, Fourth Raikage reached out and grabbed it, and threw something on the table to the 3 of them. The 3 of Hinata subconsciously raised their hands, then looked down. It was discovered that it was a pass to the village with his photo and basic information printed on it. The Chunin exam to be held in Konoha next month is decided by the 3 of you to participate in a team. Fourth Raikage said. Then, Jonin is me leading the team. Yèyuè Guāng beckoned while sitting on the sofa. When she put her hand down, she quietly poked 653 Mabui's waist, making her face flushed with shame. Taking the Chunin exam is just a cover. Your real purpose is to help Master Yèyuè Guāng complete the plan to occupy Konoha. Tudai took a step and began to explain in detail the Konoha destruction project developed by Yèyuè Guāng, which is an evolutionary version of the original Orochimaru's Konoha collapse project. Except for Orochimaru pretending to be Funkage, leading Sand Shinobi and Atonin to raid Konoha. Yèyuè Guāng also let Wooden Golem led an elite force of 200 men to lurch in the border area of the Fire Country, waiting for orders at any time, aggressively attacking Konoha. Why can't you bring more people? Of course, it's because the Country of Fire is easily noticed when there are more people. What's more, these 200 people are Konoha's highest combat power level. In addition to Wooden Golem, there is also a cage level such as Terumi Mei, Elite John and Darui and Shi and a group of Cyclops Sharingan hold ninjas. Advertisement, it's too much, such a fun thing, why can't it be made by Wooden Golem to go to this uncle? Killer Bee said angrily. Konoha village will be my sight soon. If you go there will be a mess. Keep your home well, idiot. Yèyuè Guāng said mercilessly. 8 Gaia Road, Shuckle ya. Killer Bee snorted. Cough cough cough. After Tutai explained the specific implementation steps of the plan, Kimimaro suddenly fell on one knee, vomiting blood. Hey, Kimimaro, are you okay? The expressions of everyone at the scene suddenly changed, and Killer Bee hurriedly took Kimimaro's arm, who had almost fallen to the ground. Why don't you change to Karui or Omoi? Seeing Kimimaro's mouth full of blood, Killer Bee couldn't help but suggest. No, not necessary. Kimimaro wiped away the blood from the side with his hand, and said with pain. This mission is very important to Everbright. I must participate in order to realize the value of my life. Yèyuè Guāng frowned tightly, thinking inwardly. Kimimaro's condition hasn't improved at all compared with the original, so there is nothing to do? Almost the same moment, the meeting room of the Konoha administration building. A group of instructors Jonin gathered here and recommended his team Genin to Sarutobi Hiruzen to take this year's Chunin exam. Might Guy. Naruto-sama, I recommend Genin, Hyuga Neji, Rock Lee, Tenten from Guy's class. Ta Rihong. Hokage-sama, I recommend the 3 members of the Yuri Red class, Genin, Kurama Yakumo, Anujaya, and Aburame Shino. Subsequently, Kakashi and Asuma also recommended 3 of their scary Genin students who had just graduated. The replacement for Hinata in the original, Baisidi, is a girl named Kurama Yakumo. Was Konoha's illusion family, but today's fate is the same as Senju, only in name. When I heard that Kakashi, Asuma, and Yurihong actually recommended Genin, who had just graduated only a few months ago, to take the Chunin exam, many Jonins present were full of uproar. Not waiting for them to start discussing. As the chief examiner of the Chunin exam, Lung Disease Ghost Moonlight Hayate briskly walked into the conference room from outside, kneeled on one knee and reported on the Sarutobi Hiruzen report. Advertisement, Master Naruto, the Genin information of each village taking the Chunin exam has been sorted out. After speaking, hand over the list of lists to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Compared to 6 years ago, Sarutobi Hiruzen, with paler hair and older face, whispered. Sand Shinobi candidates. Gaara, Tamari, Kankuro, leading the team Jonin, Baki. Baki? Hearing this name, Kakashi and Jonin's face changed slightly. 6 years ago, the sudden death of Sarutobi Rai in the final round almost caused the Chunin exam between Konoha and Sand Shinobi. The guide Jonin sent by Sand Shinobi is also this Baki, right? However, when seeing Sand Shinobi's list, Sarutobi Hiruzen just wrung his brows. When I turned to the Cloud Shinobi list on the next page, my eyes almost fell on it. Cloud Shinobi candidates. Kagaya Kimimaro, Yèyuè Hinata. Yèyuè Hinata, many older Jonin can instantly dream back to 12 years ago. That big event enough to be engraved on Konoha's shame column. Fortunately, there is no Hyuga ninja present, otherwise he might just run away. Leading Jonin, when Sarutobi Hiruzen said these 4 words. Whether it's Kakashi or Yurihong, they can't help but keep praying in their hearts. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Unfortunately, reality is often counterproductive. Lead the team Jonin, Yèyuè Guāng. When Sarutobi Hiruzen pronounced the name, Ta Rihong, the weakest among the group, almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, the examiner at the back, Midarashi Anko, had quick eyes and quick hands, and quickly supported her. What does he want to do? Not only did Hyuga Hinata refer to him, but he also came to Konoha himself as the leader. Is he trying to show off to us? Kakashi frowned. You speculated. It's Yèyuè Hinata now, the Hyuga family knows about this, do you think you will run away? Ta Rihong took a few deep breaths before he was relieved. She didn't know if it was the power of metaphysics. I always feel that once Yèyuè Guāng comes to Konoha, disasters will definitely happen. Chapter 76 I will look at the face, the 9th more first order. Konohagakure will be the host venue. The Chunin examination jointly organized by Konoha, Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Takaguru, Otogyo, Rain Shinobi, Kusakino, and nearly 10 Shinobu villages has officially started. Although as early as 6 years ago, the Chunin examination system had been changed. Adopt a multi-village organization system, but this year, it has attracted the attention of quite a few forces. After all, according to the public list of candidates, there are many geniuses who can represent the next generation. Needless to say Konoha, the orphan of Uchiha and the new generation Ino Shikacho. Sand Shinobi also dispatched the 3rd siblings of Fourth Raikage headed by Gaara. As for Cloud Shinobi, it's a bit mysterious. The specific strengths of Kimimaro and Bai are unknown. But what does Yèyuè Hinata, the girl's surname and her blood represent? But many dignitaries in the ninja world focused on the object. Konoha July 1st 60. The exam venue is the first exam at Konoha Shinobi School, and it will start in less than 3 hours. It's really Konoha, it's still prosperous as always, at least on the surface. Yèyuè Guāng, who led Hinata, Bai, and Kimimaro into the village, stepped into the gate of the village and said with a smile, while looking at the 4 rock sculptures on the wall of Mount Konoha in the distance. After getting Konoha by yourself, do you want to dismantle the thing and rebuild it? Are you a candidate for Cloud Shinobi? Please register quickly. The first exam will begin soon. The 2 Konoha Chunin who were in charge of guarding the gate came up. It's a bit familiar, but I just can't remember who it is. Dare to ask 2 respected names? Yèyuè Guāng asked cheerfully when registering themselves and Hinata and their names. The ever-bright people are all the same, Daiwahi. The 2 sneered and responded. Yèyuè Guāng was stunned, thinking for a long time before finally remembering and laughing. Oh, the guard of Fourth Hokage, remember it? In the original book, the 3 of Shiranui Genma used Flying Thunder God teleportation technique to send his wife Terumi Mei to the high-level dragon suit of the other 4 shadows. Unexpectedly, after the death of the 10,000 years gatekeeper, they would take over. These 3 are Genin, the representative of Cloud Shinobi, right? Advertisement together with Ray Tong and Daiwahi looked behind Yèyuè Guāng, but his eyes were mainly on Hinata. Baikugan. But looking at the registration book again, the registration name is Yèyuè Hinata. For a time, the hearts of the 2 were extremely complicated. The eldest daughter of Konoha's Hyuga clan, she is now the last name of Cloud Shinobi Village. Master Everbright, welcome. Just as Yèyuè Guāng was about to take the 3 of them to the Konoha Shinobi school, the voice of an old acquaintance followed. Hitaki, who had been confronted as early as the 3rd Ninja War, was 55. Following him, Might Guy and Shirihong, and last time I came to Konoha with Terumi Mei, because of the deaths of Sarutobi Shinosuke and Sarutobi Rai, the bearded Asuma did not have time to speak. And the 4 people who arrived couldn't help turning their eyes to Hinata beside Yèyuè Guāng. The Cloud Shinobi female ninja costume of the same style as Sam Yi, with Cloud Shinobi's forehead protector hung in the center of the collar. The seemingly soft temperament faintly reveals a touch of heroism. But those eyes still exposed her true blood. It's a coincidence. Our respective students were sent to the examination room just now and were about to get together. I didn't expect to bump into it like this. Kakashi regained his sanity first, and his eyes cracked and smiled. Okay, don't be nonsense. I know that it is 3rd Hokage who is afraid of me to do something, and sends the highest combat power of the 4 of you to look at me without being official. Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand and smiled. As soon as this remark came out, whether it was Kakashi C. Jonin who had just received the order of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the new janitor on the other side and the same in Daiwahi were all embarrassed and speechless. Is it so straightforward? But then again, these 4 people are actually Konoha's highest combat power besides Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although Kakashi has Kamui, Might Guy has 8 inner gates. Reluctantly, it can be considered a hang-up, but at this level, it was once the highest battle other than the shadow of the strongest village in the ninja world. Yèyuè Guāng felt sad for Konoha. Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobarama knows how to feel under the spring. Just when Kakashi was embarrassed and didn't know how to respond, he just listened to Yèyuè Guāng again. -0 seeking flowers. It's okay, I don't care, not to mention that even if I want to do something, you can't do anything. Advertisement, damn it, let alone save face. Sarutobi Asuma, who was born with a golden spoon in his 2nd generation, has been so angry for a while, and immediately wanted to refute it. But Shirihong glared back at him and said in a low voice. What do you want to do? Forgot Master Naruto's instructions. Sarutobi Asuma gritted his teeth, and finally could only hold the fire back in his stomach. Rihong shook his head secretly. Asuma was still too irrational. Even the rough Might Guy is more calm than him. Yèyuè Guāng took the 3 of Hinata and the group of 4 of Konoha Jonin to the ninja school. On the way, take the initiative to speak. By the way, Miss Hong and Beardo know, is Asuma already a lover? Rihong was surprised when he heard the words, but Asuma couldn't help showing joy, suddenly felt that Yèyuè Guāng didn't seem to be that annoying. However, just as Shirihong wanted to respond, Yèyuè Guāng said again, but seeing Miss Hong's walking pace, there is no personnel, I would like to remind you, don't rush to give it, I will look at the face, I think Mr. Asuma will die soon. What did you say? This time Asuma really couldn't hold back the fire in his heart, so she rolled up her sleeves and wanted to fight Yèyuè Guāng. Hey, Asuma, calm down. Joke. Just a joke, don't take it seriously. Kakashi and Might Guy have quick eyes and quick hands, and they quickly frame Asuma from left to right. And Shirihong's face instantly became the same as her name, especially when she heard the no personnel, she immediately shouted with shame and angrily. You, what are you talking about? I'm kind, lest you marry a stranger and become a widow. Yèyuè Guāng spread his hands and said innocently. I am going to kill you. Rihong rushed forward furiously. Then, a bone knife suddenly struck, and it reached the distance of Rihong's throat less than half a centimeter. Rihong looked at the white-haired boy who looked at him coldly in shock. You woman, what do you want to do to Everbright? Kimimaro said coldly. Again, Chapter 77 The Strongest Daughter System, 10th More Seeking First Order. Don't do that, Kimimaro. Yèyuè Guāng grabbed Kimimaro's back collar, pulled the person back, and said with a smile. Children are impulsive. I'm sorry, Miss Hong. Hong stared blankly at Kimimaro, who was pulled back by Yèyuè Guāng. If it wasn't for Yèyuè Guāng to hold this young man, the bone knife might not really pierce his own throat. Take the bones out of the body. Kakashi, who is holding Asuma with Might Guy, has deep eyes. This is Miss Shinobi's blood succession boundary clan, which inherited the terrible Yoruichi clan of Dead Bone Pulse, right? Even Might Guy's rough nerves changed his face suddenly. He raided Konoha and killed Kirigakure of his father Might Die. Even he still remembers him fresh. Might Guy wondered. No, I heard that the Yoruichi clan has been 653 in the Kirigakure rebellion, and why did they become the ninja of Cloud Shinobi Village? Looking at Kimimaro with a cold look, Kakashi couldn't help turning his eyes to Hinata on the other side 2 seconds later, thinking to himself. It seems that Cloud Shinobi has hidden a lot of secrets that are not well known. After the small storm, the Cloud Shinobi trio finally came to Konoha Shinobi School as the first examination room. The examination room is the innermost classroom on the 3rd floor. Kakashi explained. Edo-san, I will do my best. Hinata squeezed the 2 little pink fists tightly. Edo-san. Hearing Hinata's name to Yèyuè Guāng, the 4 Konoha Jonin's expressions became complicated again. Well, goodbye. Yèyuè Guāng lowered his head against Hinata's forehead and stroked her dark blue and black hair encouragingly. Hinata, Neji, it's been a long time since I saw you. Are you here to take the Chunin exam, too? Suddenly, a girl who was about 7 years old and almost 70% similar to Hinata's facial features, but with a slightly fat baby face and more melon-like face than Hinata, bounced and said hello. Ah, Hanabi, it's been a long time since I saw you. Hinata said in surprise. The current eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, Hyuga Hanabi. Why do Hinata and Hanabi know each other? Might Guy asked Kakashi in an incredible whisper. Advertisement. When Mrs. Heishi passed away 2 years ago, Yèyuè Guāng brought Hinata to Konoha to offer condolences. I should have known each other at that time. Kakashi responded in a low voice. Do they know it? Hong looked at standing together. Even outsiders could easily see that this was the second daughter of her sister. Her expression could not bear. I'm afraid I don't know. Even if I do, looking at Hinata's current attitude towards Yèyuè Guāng, she doesn't care whether her blood comes from Konoha or Cloud Shinobi. For her, staying with that man is the most important thing. Kakashi glanced at Yèyuè Guāng quietly. After talking a few words with Hyuga Hanabi, Hinata finally officially entered the ninja school with Bai and Kimimaro. What then? 4. Do you want to continue to monitor me? I don't care. After sending the 3 of Hinata into the examination room, Yèyuè Guāng turned around and asked Kakashi with a smile. When asked about this, Kakashi didn't know how to answer. Surveillance? Hyuga Hanabi's eyes were confused, and he tilted his head and asked. Why is Mr. Kakashi monitoring you, Uncle Yezuki? Because I am strong. Yèyuè Guāng squatted down and touched Hyuga Hanabi's small head. Hyuga Heishi is not good at his own strength, but the level of giving birth to a daughter is very good. Princess Byakugan, who has the purest Byakugan comparable to Otsutsuki Hamura, gave birth to 2 directly. This guy won't have a cheat for the strongest daughter system, right? When the Cloud Shinobi trio walked on the 2nd floor of Jonin's school, a group of Konoha shinobi were found gathering here. Among them, Hyuga Neji, who was the chief student of last year, and Urzuzi, the chief student of this year, are sharing their names. Hyuga Neji. Uchiha Sasuke. 2 people reported each other's names coolly. Haruno Sakura, Tenten and other nymphomaniacs screamed inside. Naruto was crazy about Lemon on the side, comforting himself inwardly. What to pretend, I'm going to be the man of Hokage. Although they were pretending to be heirs in the early stage, it is a pity that this is a world of fighting pedigree. Coupled with the weak 3-pointer relationship, the Chunin exam is almost the peak of Neji's entire ninja career. Advertisement. The same eyes as Neji. Suddenly, when he noticed Hinata coming upstairs, Rock Lee couldn't help exclaiming. You are. Turning to see Hinata's Byakugan, and the Cloud Shinobi forehead protector in the center of her collar, Hyuga Neji's face suddenly changed. He once heard his father Hyuga Hizashi say about an incident that happened 12 years ago. She is the true eldest lady of the Hyuga clan. Remember, Neji, this is the supreme secret of the Hyuga clan and must not be revealed. My father's clams echoed in my mind again. Hyuga Neji's face was strange, and he turned and walked towards the examination room. Let's go, Lee, Tenten. The same eyes as you, Hinata. Bai next to Hinata also said the same thing as Tenten. Let's go. Hinata did not answer, and after a gentle smile, he and his 2 teammates also walked towards the examination room. It's not related to birth and blood, I just want to be with that person. And when he noticed the look in Class 7's eyes, Hinata gently nodded his head politely. Kimimaro had a cold face and didn't even look at it. Only Bai responded kindly with a shallow smile. What a beautiful girl. Naruto's eyes were staring at Bai, his eyes almost turned into hearts. Especially with the smile just now, it almost hit my heart, throbbing wildly. 2.3. The large public classroom, which was the first examination room, was crowded with genin representatives from various villages. Gaara, Tamari, and Kankuro, the three sons of the Wind and Shadow, had already sat on their seats early. Then came Konoha 12 Xiaoqiang and Cloud Shinobi trio. Also hidden in the crowd, Yakushi Kabuto, who was Orochimaru's diehard loyalist, secretly pushed the glasses on the bridge of his nose when he saw this group of people walk in. This year's candidates are really interesting. Cloud Shinobi also sent a very interesting lineup. The true eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan who was abducted by Yèyuè Guāng when she was just born. The entire family suffered annihilation, leaving only the heirs of dead Bone Pulse and being done. This time Chunin exam, these three people will surprise everyone. Chapter 78 What can Konoha do like a bird? 11th more seeking subscription. After entering the examination room, the three Hinata did not make any unexpected moves, and directly found a place to sit down. But Naruto, as always, has never disappointed. After another disturbance, Yakushi Kabuto successfully intervened in them. After introducing himself, he also showed off his intelligence ability. And Uchiha Sasuke is also like the original. I consulted the other party about the intelligence of Gaara and Rock Lee, two people who made themselves thinner not long ago. After Yakushi Kabuto drew 2 pieces from the stack of intelligence cards. Everyone also learned the basic information of these two people. In addition to outstanding physical skills, Rock Lee has no outstanding specialties. However, Gaara, as Genin, has experience in performing B-level missions, which shocked the Xiaoqiangs. Can I ask someone? Suddenly, a voice came from behind, and everyone turned their eyes to see that it was Hyuga Neji who had sat down just now. Yèyuè Hinata in Cloud Shinobi Village. Halfway through the conversation, Hyuga Neji also realized that he had made a mistake, and quickly changed his words. Mile, you asked a very interesting 10 object. The lens of Yakushi Kabuto glasses flashed for a moment, and the index finger and middle finger were brought together and swiped across the card again. A new card was revealed. With the flow of chakra, Hinata's basic information gradually appeared on the card. Yèyuè Hinata, like you, is a newcomer who just graduated from ninja school this year. Father and Guy Jonin is the strongest ninja Yèyuè Guāng in Cloud Shinobi Village. Like his father, he is very good at lightning style. Yakushi Kabuto narrowed his eyes and continued. It is not known exactly which missions I participated in, but after all, it was taught by the strongest person in Cloud Shinobi, who has a very strong personality. It is said that he had injured Cloud Shinobi's 8-Tails Jinchuriki killer in the graduation exam. B. Hyuga Neji frowned and said to himself. Ray, Hyuga's ninjas are not incapable of practicing techniques other than Gentle Fist, but with Gentle Fist, .6 and Revolving Heaven and other profound meanings, Byakugan's power can be maximized. Therefore, I disdain to learn the escape technique used by some civilian ninjas. With the blood of the Hyuga family, but learning the basic attributes of ninjutsu like ordinary ninjas, no matter how strong it is, isn't it? Hyuga Neji said inwardly, although because his father was not dead, he did not hang the words, Destiny, Destiny, on the purple border like the original book. But as the branch house engraved on Caged Bird, it was born with inexplicable hostility towards the Zong family. Advertisement even if he leaves Hyuga's clan, he won't have any good feelings towards the other party. 8-Tails Jinchurikika, what is that? Women such as Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino focused on the other part of the intelligence. The ninja who boarded the tail beast, Jinchuriki, is the ultimate weapon of the ninja village. There are 9 weapons in total. Among them, Cloud Shinobi has 2 tails and 8 tails, and Konoha is. When Yakushi Kabuto talked about the back, Naruto's face became paler, and even vaguely revealed a bit of a cure. Bang! At this moment, headed by Morino Ibiki, dozens of ninjas above the Konoha Chunin class appeared on the podium with body flicker technique. The bunch of Konoha newcomers behind. It's time for the exam. What are you still chatting about? Do you want to be disqualified? Ibizi managed to point to the Xiaoqiangs behind and sternly reprimanded. Jonin's deterrence is still very deterrent to these fledgling little rabbits. Everyone said nothing. Hurry up and do it according to the candidate number. The position of the members of each squad was naturally broken up. Originally in order to strengthen the credibility of Yakushi Kabuto's spy, Orochimaru deliberately arranged for him a scene with a Tonin and 3 people. But it is not important, after all, collecting intelligence is important. But that is also when the strength of the two sides is almost the same. Konoha is now like a bird, and the importance of intelligence is completely negligible. Outside Konoha village. 4 people don't have to follow me all the way, just send 1 person to watch. Yèyuè Guāng raised his index finger, chuckled and said, I will have Miss Yurihong as my tour guide. Impossible. Before Yurihong could answer, Asuma the bearded person was in a hurry. Don't get me wrong, I'm just not used to walking with men. I don't mean to be green. I can't cope with the group of women at home. I'm not interested in adding another one. Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand and explained. Rihong's eyes widened immediately. What does this be **** do you mean? It is extremely insulting. Immediately, Yèyuè Guāng seemed to have thought of something suddenly, and said. That's wrong, you and her don't seem to have that kind of relationship at the moment. Asuma's eyes suddenly stared like a cow's egg. Advertisement. Seeing this, Kakashi and Might Guy rushed up again to hold him up. The two exchanged glances and said, then, please, Red. Let's go back and report to Master Naruto. After speaking, the two rushed to the administration building with Asuma. First of all, I will go to see the remains of Uchiha. Yèyuè Guāng stretched and suggested. Ta Rihong's face was unkind. No, it has been transformed into a land division of the Sarutobi clan 653. Ta Rihong is now holding back the kick of the B********* D berry, which is so annoying. Third Hokage is really a ghost. Yèyuè Guāng couldn't help but laugh out loud. After wandering around, Yèyuè Guāng found a meatball shop and sat down with Yurihong. At this time, a woman's bold cry came from the side. Boss, 20 more 3-color balls. Ta Rihong subconsciously turned her head to look and said in astonishment. Anko. There are only 10 minutes left until the end of the first exam, why are you still here? Mitarashi Anko heard the words and chuckled. It's okay, I can rush over in 5 minutes, it's too late. The new meatballs were brought to the table, and Mitarashi Anko, who was ready to feast, noticed Yèyuè Guāng on the opposite side of Yurihong, and suddenly stared incredulously. You, why are you with him? Don't you empathize with Asuma? You be *********. What nonsense, Ta Rihong punched her a few times in shame and anger. Your Hokage-sama asked her to watch me, although I don't think it's useful at all. Yèyuè Guāng spoke the most vicious words in the gentlest tone. Just like Konoha, even if I really want to do something, who can stop it? Chapter 79 Namikaze Minato's resurrection is useless, 12th more seeking first order. As soon as Yèyuè Guāng said this, there were many Konoha shinobi in the Maruko shop. Including Shi Rihong, who was sitting on the opposite side in the next table, stared at him instantly with indignation. In all fairness, Konoha still has cohesion. After all, they are all ninjas of civilian origin, and their impression of Sarutobi Hiruzen is still a good old man. At the same time, it is also the most shining and best cut non-vegetable for the seniors. If you replace it with Hyuga Hinata, Naruto, and old fritters like Konoha's high-level political cadres who have been playing around for decades, and even acting in the high-level style, you won't be so angry anymore. What, do you have any comments? Yèyuè Guāng smiled at the Konoha shinobi who had cast their righteous indignation in the store and turned back. The invisible killing intent formed an invisible hurricane, instantly in every corner of the meatball shop. In a daze, Yurihong and Mitarashi Anko vaguely saw the darkness around them. The grinning beasts are staring at the vital parts of their bodies with greedy eyes. Prepare to rush over and tear it apart in the next second. Well, suddenly, a Konoha Chunin couldn't help covering his mouth, and he knelt in fright and retched. Fantasy, illusion. As a phantom ninja, Ta Rihong's first words flashed in his mind, these 2 words. However, within a second, she denied this idea in her heart. No, it's not right, this is just the most common murderous aura. I'll go, this is too weak, right? Yèyuè Guāng was speechless to the extreme. This sentence was not chanted in my heart, but was spoken upright and not directly from the mouth. And it didn't mean to lower the volume at all. Although the ninjas present were all of civilian origin, the overall quality of the ninjas was much worse than that of the ninjas. But it's not so weak, right? Is it the same as Sarutobi Hiruzen, thinking that Konoha is still the largest village in the ninja world? Disappointed. Yèyuè Guāng shook his head. Stop. Spit, then look at me, Mount Myoboku Toad Sage, can I stand this? A bold laugh came from outside the door. Advertisement. When Ta Rihong, Mitarashi Anko and the others saw the burly figure walking into the store, their eyes suddenly lit up. The look in the eyes of the savior was like a victim who had been lost in the dry desert for 3 days and 3 nights and finally found a source of water. Legendary Sannin, one of Jiraiya, not only the 2 daughters of Yurihong and Mitarashi Anko, but the other Konoha shinobi who was frightened by Yèyuè Guāng just now, all showed joy and ecstasy. Fear instantly turned into complacency, and he looked at Yèyuè Guāng and seemed to say, Huh, did you see that? Some of my Konoha are strong, see how arrogant your kid is. Ah, I've chased Tsunade for more than 40 years and haven't succeeded Pervy Sage. However, Yèyuè Guāng hid Jiraiya's most injured weakness with a single sentence. In an instant, Jiraiya felt that his heart was severely restricted and shot an arrow, enclosing the heart and said with a sullen face. But, damn it's kid, it's so shameless. Yèyuè Guāng picked up a bunch of meatballs and stopped moving after eating one. Secretly vomiting this stuff is sweet and sticky, how does the big filial son like to eat this stuff? I forgot that you returned to Konoha. Yèyuè Guāng got up and said that he was really careless, and forgot that in the original work, Jiraiya was almost back to Konoha during this period. But it doesn't matter, Pervy Sage, just say you come back, the current Konoha and Namikaze Minato are useless to resurrect. After Yèyuè Guāng patted his shoulder, he walked past the opponent and left. Don't call me, Pervy Sage, smelly brat, Jiraiya shouted angrily. But mentioning the name, Namikaze Minato, Jiraiya's face was also bitter. But what made Jiraiya the most alert was Yèyuè Guāng's remarks that felt that there was something in the words. What does he want to say? The first exam is over in 2 minutes. At this time, Mitarashi Anko snapped up from his seat and ran towards the school. Mr. Everbright, Patriarch Heishi would like to please. When Ta Rihong reacted back and ran out of the meatball shop. I happened to see Jonin, a patriarch of the Hyuga family, sending an invitation to Yèyuè Guāng. Yèyuè Guāng turned his head and squinted to face Shi Rihong, smiling and asking. Want to go together? No, no more. After struggling for a few seconds, Shi Rihong waved her hand in refusal. The original purpose of surveillance has been exposed long ago, and it is impossible to find out if you force to follow. In addition, the inviting party is the patriarch of the Hyuga family, so nothing will happen if you think about it. Advertisement after all, these two people who should be in a tit-for-tat relationship can never discuss how to destroy Konoha, right? Ta Rihong thought about it inwardly. That kid was right in saying that Konoha is too poor and weak now. At this time, Jiraiya also walked out of the store. Master Jiraiya. Ta Rihong quickly bowed his head and saluted. Don't be so polite, I just came back to collect the material. After Jiraiya smiled and responded, he walked towards the village administration building under the Hokage rock without a solemn expression. After 1 hour. Konoha No. 44 Training Ground, Death Forest. Mitarashi Anko, whose horns are still stained with some brown sugar, introduces the rules of the second test to everyone. A 5-day, real battle regardless of life and death. At the pickup area where there is a blind, Bai holding the scroll of the earth in his hand and said to Hinata and Kimimaro. What we are going to seize is the scroll of heaven. Walking around in the forest is a waste of time. Kimimaro said coldly. Arrive to the central tower as quickly as possible, but wait for Wanli Jiao. Those teams that collected the earth coiling shaft for a good day. This really fits Kimimaro's style of doing things. Bai smiled bitterly. Although he felt very vicious, he had to admit that this was the most efficient method. After all, if you defeat the enemy, you get the same scroll as your team. It's a waste of time. What does Hinata think? Bai turned his head to ask Hinata's opinion. Eduo-sang said this mission is very important. Hinata did not answer directly, but the meaning was already clear. For normalcy, she might not want to use such harsh methods. But since Yèyuè Guāng said that this action cannot be failed, she will also put her personal emotions behind. Chapter 80 Tell a joke. Sarutobi Hiruzen gives power, the first one to subscribe. Inside the Naruto office, Sarutobi Hiruzen is sorting out applications submitted by the dignitaries of various countries, saying that he hopes to go to Konoha to watch the applications for the Chunin exam finals. Because this time Chunin exam, whether it is Cloud Shinobi or Sand Shinobi, or Konoha himself, all sent out a new generation of ninjas who could represent a village. Sand Shinobi's Gaara, Konoha's Uchiha Sasuke, Cloud Shinobi's Yèyuè Hinata, well, the last one is more special. Therefore, the big wealthy people who are the main clients of high-paying tasks want to see what level these new stars represent the next generation of Shinobu. It is also good for them to decide which village to give to them when they want to issue a task delegation in the future. In other words, it is not just a secret fight in each ninja village. It's still a business war between a group of workers vying for Party A. In the third test, Sarutobi Hiruzen also intends to operate a wave of dark boxes in the group. So that Genin from his own village has more opportunities to make a good show in the first side. At the desk, the three of Kakashi, Asuma, and Might Guy who had just reported the situation had no time to leave in the future. Busy as always, old man. Enter without knocking at the door. In Sarutobi Hiruzen's impression, there is only one Jiraiya. After Jiraiya, Yurihong also followed in. No way, Konoha is now in the era of alternation between the old and the new, so I can only get busy. 657 Looking at the three disciples now, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the only disciple who still has some feelings with him, barely smiled. If Tsukumo Senpai or Minato were there, Konoha's combat effectiveness wouldn't be so low, right? When he heard Jiraiya say his father's name in a complicated tone, Kakashi shuddered. Jiraiya. The smile on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face disappeared without a trace, turning into an unprecedented solemnity. Hey, okay, I won't say anything. Jiraiya shrugged his shoulders in a daunting manner. After so many years, can he still understand Sarutobi Hiruzen's urinary S***X? Red, how are you monitoring Yèyuè Guāng? Sarutobi Hiruzen gave birth to a bit of bitterness, looked sideways at Yurihong, and changed the subject a bit bluntly. He was invited by the patriarch Heishi. I felt that the situation was special, so I didn't follow. Ta Rihong Kaido. You let Kakashi and the others monitor that kid, it's a bad move. Advertisement Jiraiya interjected. Do you know what he said when I saw that kid? He said, just as Konoha is like a bird, just, basically, what I want to do, and who of you can stop it, I couldn't find it. Speak to refute him. Jiraiya's brilliant imitation actually mimics Yèyuè Guāng's expression and tone just now. It's too rampant, how can I despise Konoha like this? Asuma shouted angrily. Okay, ambitious, Asuma kid. Jiraiya applauded. Papa, now that kid is in the Hyuga clan's clan, you should go to him to settle the account now, it's better to evolve into a war. Now Cloud Shinobi Cage level ninjas, including the kid and Raikage, have a rough estimate of 6 people. Do you think Konoha is enough for others to fight? As soon as these words came out, Asuma, who was still wary just now, suddenly stunned. 6 people? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned and said. Yèyuè Guāng, Raikage, Killer Bee, 2 by Wooden Golem, is there anyone besides 4? When I was collecting material in Thunder Country, I found out that Cloud Shinobi has played 2 more powerful roles in recent years. Jiraiya broke his fingers and said, the female ninja with 2 kinds of blood inheritance, Terumi Mei. The one that Yèyuè Guāng brought to take the Chunin exam 6 years ago. Ta Rihong's face changed drastically, and she instantly recalled the beautiful woman they had met with Yèyuè Guāng. There is another, Cloud Shinobi's trust captain Anbu, codename Joe, it is said that he has the blood inheritance limit of Scorch style. Jiraiya said again. As the future, I can inquire about the existence of Akatsuki's base camp in Rain Shinobi Village. He naturally has his own set of intelligence networks. 6 cage levels. This is too exaggerated. Even if you look at Konoha's history, I am afraid that Sannin, including Lord Jiraiya, can match it when he was in the village, right? Frozen Might Guy was shocked by this number. They couldn't think of it. Before knowing it, Cloud Shinobi has become so powerful. And many people in their village thought that Konoha was the strongest in the ninja world. But isn't Jiraiya-sama back? Don't worry too much, right? Asuma forced a smile. Advertisement, don't praise me, I just came back to collect materials, but I didn't plan to stay long. Jiraiya raised his hand to signal Asuma to stop talking. You all go down and rest. Jiraiya, can you chat with me? Sarutobi Hiruzen said slowly. The four of Kakashi glanced at each other, bowed and then turned and left. Can you stay until the Chunin exam is over and Yèyuè Guāng leave Konoha? There was silence for more than a few minutes, and when Jiraiya was impatient, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally spoke. Are you worried about what they do? Jiraiya shrugged and said. As the guy said, what he really wants to do, I don't think Konoha can do anything now. After that, Jiraiya didn't show any respect and turned the window and left. But Sarutobi Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that he was the only disciple now. As long as it is not explicitly rejected, it is consent. In fact, the silence that lasted for several minutes just now was Sarutobi Hiruzen thinking about a question. Do you want to abdicate and give up your position to Jiraiya? Although based on what he knows about him, Jiraiya will not agree with it in all likelihood. However, in the end, he still did not speak out the proposal. Humans, once a character is developed, it will not change until death. He sat on this kind of chair with Sarutobi Hiruzen for almost half a century. Unless you die, you will never move away. Hyuga clan land. Looking at the picture of Yèyuè Guāng, who is sitting across from him, clutching his little daughter Hyuga Hinata like a cat. Hyuga Hishi couldn't help asking, Your Excellency, Jiraiya-sama is back, do you think third generation will give way to him? If Jiraiya becomes 5th Hokage at this juncture, it would be a little troublesome. Yèyuè Guāng clasped Hyuga Hanabi's face, and was immediately happy when he heard Hyuga Hishi's words. Tell you a joke, Sarutobi Hiruzen will give power. Chapter 81. There is another Yèyuè Guāng, second more seeking subscription. The battle tower in the center of the dead forest. As the examiner of the third round, Moonlight Gale waited here long before the candidates entered the death forest. Ahem, even the best genin takes at least 48 hours to arrive here, right? Moonlight and Gust of Wind with a face of kidney deficiency muttered to himself at the observation deck on the tower. However, in the next second, his pupils suddenly tightened. Because looking down, 3 people have already arrived at the entrance of the battle tower. Squinting his eyes to see the forehead protector logo of the 3 people, Moonlight Hayate exclaimed 2 words in a low voice. Cloud Shinobi. Thanks to Hinata's Baikugan, we avoided a lot of detours and got here all the way. Bai smiled. Hinata responded with a kind smile and turned left and right looked around. What's wrong? Bai wondered. It feels like you're in the death forest, Hinata, you're absent-minded. It wouldn't be because you haven't been with Guāng-sama for many days, just you're not used to it, right? Speaking of the back, Bai couldn't help but ridicule. That's not it, Hinata retorted with a flushed face. He immediately added a solemn expression to his expression, only, I just feel as if someone is staring at me. Even with your Baikugan, you can't lock the opponent? Kimimaro said with an eyebrow. Hinata's perception ability, even in Kirigakure as a whole, can be said to be among the best. She actually failed to find the other party. Maybe the opponent's ninjutsu is very special, or maybe it's just my illusion. Hinata said to herself. A few hours later, another group of genin rushed to the battle tower. When seeing the figure, Kimimaro did not hesitate to pull out the bone knife and said coldly. The food is here. A group of 2 men and a woman headed by a teenager with red hair and dark circles. Sanagakure. When seeing the opponent's forehead protector sign, Kimimaro raised the bone knife and lowered it again. Everbright once confessed to avoid fighting against Sand Shinobi's people. And the 3 sisters and brothers of Fengying, when they saw Hinata and their Cloud Shinobi forehead protector, the expressions on their faces couldn't help but become stagnant. Even Gaara, who was very keen on killing during this period, didn't mean to do it. They also received the above command, advertisement. Avoid fighting with the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. Aren't you going in? Tamari, as the eldest daughter of the 3rd sibling, greeted her actively. Kimimaro said coldly, waiting for someone to deliver it to the door. It turns out that it's a tricky way. After thinking about it, Konkuro couldn't help but grinned after guessing Cloud Shinobi's abacus. The 3rd sister and brother of Fengying entered the battle tower in advance. The 3 of Hinata continued to guard the gate of the tower. A few hours later, another small team arrived. Konoha's Yuri Red team in this graduating class. Aburame Shino, Inagaya and Pommel Yakumo, it's okay now. Kimimaro fought the bone knife and indifferently stood in front of the Yuri Red class. Hand over the scroll. Compared with the 3 sisters and brothers of Fengying, Kanujaya's head is not so bright and immediately yelled. Huh? What do you mean? White-haired B*********. However, he had not noticed that Akamaru, who was lying on top of his head, had made a sound of fear. I'm afraid they didn't mean to collect the scrolls from the beginning, but arrived here as quickly as possible, waiting for the arrival of the team that has already obtained a pair of scrolls, and then they can take away the 2 sets of scrolls directly. Aburame Shino clearly had a lot of brains, and Kabuto lowered his head and explained. It's really smart, although it's not very glamorous. Kurama Yakumo commented in a low voice. It would be great if the fight could be avoided. Could you please hand over the scroll? Bai smiled and asked. What a joke. I finally got here, how could it be handed over to you? Yèyuè Guāng immediately made a gesture of not seal, rushed to the forefront, turned his back to Aburame Shino and Kurama Yakumo and shouted. It's going on, you two, it's so boring, get out of here. However, in just an instant, Kimimaro appeared in front of Nagaya like a ghost, and the bone knife in his hand was only less than 5 centimeters away from the key of his throat. Ken Jaya's expression changed drastically in an instant. When did this guy move over? Kimimaro, don't kill. Bai shouted to remind him from behind. Orochimaru appeared. Meeting room in Konoha Administration Building. Advertisement. After listening to Mitarashi Anko's report, not only Sarutobi Hiruzen, Utatane Kaharu and Midokado Homura, the 2 consultants were also shocked. -0 seeking flowers. Mitarashi Anko, who covered his neck with a hand, still said with a little pain. Yes, when I met him in the Death Forest, I planned to die with him, but unfortunately it failed. What's his purpose? Have you found out? Utatane Kaharu's tone trembled. Not only because of Orochimaru's strength, but also his understanding of Konoha's senior management and his ability to do things. At present, the only information he has revealed is that he is very interested in Uchiha's pedigree, and he doesn't know the rest. Mitarashi Anko shook his head, saying that he knew only so much. Uchiha Sasuke? Sarutobi Hiruzen said a name in a deep voice. And it involves another sensitive person, Uchiha Itachi. The meeting room fell silent for a while. After a while, Midokado Homura opened the mouth and said, Hiruzen's decision to call Jiraiya back was correct. He should be able to calm Orochimaru. But there is another Yèyuè Guāng. Utatane Kaharu gave him a sideways glance, and said no good. Where is that guy now? Is he still in the clan of the Hyuga clan? As soon as these words came out, a female Anbu team member wearing a cat face mask and stealing a waist-length purple hair suddenly appeared in the report. The news just came that Yèyuè Guāng has left Hyuga's clan and headed to the battle tower in the Death Forest. Could it be that Cloud Shinobi's Sangenin has arrived at the central tower? Midokado Homura couldn't believe it, and turned to look at the clock on the wall. Less than 30 hours, right? It is said that the Tari Red class was eliminated. Maue Shiin said again. The team consisting of the Dog family, Aburame, and Kurama family was actually defeated. It seems that in the past 12 years, Yèyuè Guāng has trained the little girl from the Hyuga family well. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a bit of a cigarette stick. Hiruzen, Orochimaru shows up, do you want to terminate the Chunin exam? Utatane Kaharu said anxiously. No, this Chunin exam has attracted a lot of attention of powers and responsibilities. If it is cancelled just because of an Orochimaru, Konoha's face will be disgraced. Midokado Homura objected. Sarutobi Hiruzen considered it for a while and decided to adopt Midokado Homura's opinion. The Chunin exam cannot be stopped. Chapter 82. Isn't there a black box operation yet? Third more seeking subscription? In the battle tower in the middle of the Death Forest. Yèyuè Guāng, Yurihong, and Baki led the team. Jonin passed Konoha's flying Thunder God teleportation array and transferred to the tower. Because their team all arrived at the central tower, and there were 3 full days before the end of the second exam. So let Jonin, the leader of the team, pick up the people, and come back to take the 3rd round of the exam 3 days later. However, Yurihong was called in as the leader of the defeated group. Sorry, Miss Hong, there is no way for the difference in strength. Yèyuè Guāng couldn't help but gloat after learning that Hinata and the others had actually been promoted by brushing down the Shirihong team. It is said that Kimimaro killed 3 by himself. It seems to have cast a psychological shadow on that canine tooth. Humph. It's not over yet, it's not always true who loses and who wins. Ta Rihong hummed back. At the time of the exam, the 6, 5, and 7 inches period was not over yet, so she directly sent the 3 students back to the Death Forest to snatch it again. But after all, there is no protagonist halo, so I have to grab 2 sets of scrolls in the remaining 3 days. Let's go back. Yèyuè Guāng said to the 3, yes. The 3 responded in unison. After leaving the Dead Forest, walk back to Konoha Street again. Bai wanted to stroll around, and left after asking Yèyuè Guāng for instructions. Kimimaro didn't have much interest, and went back to the hotel to cultivate alone. It was mainly because of the hemorrhagic disease, he had to avoid unnecessary activities as much as possible. And Hinata is naturally not to mention, following the Yèyuè Guāng leather. The feeling of being stared at. Yèyuè Guāng raised his eyebrows when Hinata said that he felt strange gazes in the Death Forest. Did this happen during this period of the original work? Immediately, Yèyuè Guāng closed his eyes and perceived it with the sight and color that was enough to cover the entire Konoha village. No peculiar chakra existed, but it is Hinata who perceives wrongly. Yèyuè Guāng also didn't quite believe it. This little Nizi Jichin Baikugan's insight is unprecedented in a century. Forget it, follow me during this period, and I will find out for you sooner or later. Yèyuè Guāng said. Yeah, Hinata nodded obediently. In fact, it goes without saying that she would do the same. She usually follows Yèyuè Guāng all day long. Advertisement, and this time Yèyuè Guāng did not have Sammy, Terumi Mei and others. Hinata is still a little excited. Go, take you to see the goldfish. Yèyuè Guāng took Hinata's little hand with great interest. Hinata is a little puzzled. Why should I watch goldfish? 3 days passed in a flash. When the Cloud Shinobi trio reached the central battle tower in the Death Forest through the teleportation array again. A dozen other candidates who passed the second examination have gathered here for a long time. And Chunin, the leader of these teams, also stood on the stands on both sides. The only difference from the original work is that the Yuri Red class was brushed down by the Cloud Shinobi trio. But I don't know if Asuma deliberately let his father open the back door in order to please Yu Rihong. Let Shi Rihong take her 3 students to watch the battle and study in the stands. When I saw Sarutobi Hiruzen also came to watch the game. Yakushi Kabuto hesitated for a few seconds, and finally chose to abstain like the original. After all, as a spy, it is better to keep a low profile regardless of whether intelligence is important. The real third test was actually held at the Konoha Enwuchang. This round should be said to be the third qualifier. After all, I didn't expect that there were so many candidates who passed the second round. Moonlight Storm said with a dying expression. So, we have to eliminate half of the people here. When I heard this, even Uchiha Sasuke could not help but move. Arrived here with great pains, and was bitten by a dead pervert. Co-author, this is not the final yet. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also stood up and explained. Because the third exam is to show the strength of Shinobu Village to the dignitaries of various countries, excessive water cannot be allowed. They must select the elite to participate in the finals. As the instructions ended, the electronic screen on the rear wall flashed quickly. In 1 second, the names of many candidates were crossed, and the weaker ones such as Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino with a poor mentality below. Can't help but start to get nervous. After a few seconds, the screen finally freezes. Yèyuè Hinata vs Hyuga Neji. FK, is there really no black box operation? Yèyuè Guāng subconsciously said. He didn't just meditate in his heart, but shouted out these words directly and openly. And there is no meaning to lower the volume. Naturally, everyone couldn't help but cast their eyes to Yèyuè Guāng in the stands. Ta Rihong and others looked incredible. Advertisement. Is it so shameless? Of course, Yèyuè Guāng could not have the slightest sense of tension. Faced with the gaze cast by countless people, he waved his hand indifferently. It's okay, I've seen a lot of things that are darker than this, it's not a big deal, go ahead. The wrinkles on Sarutobi Hiruzen's old face twitched a few times. But in the end, he did not refute a word. A good guy. Kenjaya was not convinced by the airway. Originally, his team was cut off and brushed off, and he was already suffocated. As a result, the leader of that team, Chunin, was even better than his students. That is due to his great strength. Kakashi next to him stared at the right eye that was not blocked by the forehead of the guardian, and the pupil in the eye glanced at Yèyuè Guāng and whispered. Perhaps, his title of the strongest lightning style in Ninja World can already cancel the last word, lightning style. So that uncle is so amazing. Naruto stared at the stars. Just when everyone was whispering, except for Hinata and Hyuga Neji below. Everyone walked up to the second floor stand. The eyes of those two people are the same, they are all white, Mr. Kakashi. Naruto clutched the railing with both hands and turned to Kakashi. Kakashi's face is complicated, after all, they are all of the same family. The same 2.3 family? Haruno Sakura is incredible. But the girl's last name is Yèyuè, right? Yèyuè remembers she is from Cloud Shinobi's family. As soon as this remark came out, it was not only Kakashi. All Chunin, Chunin, and even Sarutobi Hiruzen present were embarrassed. Little Sakura, don't ask. Kakashi's tone rarely became a little heavy. This can be related to Konoha's dark history, which can't be said casually. Haruno Sakura also noticed the change in the atmosphere and quickly shut up. Please enlighten me, Yèyuè. Miss. Hyuga Neji suppressed his dissatisfaction with the clan, and treated Hinata as an ordinary ninja. Anyway, no matter who is in front of him, he will defeat him. Hinata tilted her head slightly and looked at Yèyuè Guāng in the stands. And Yèyuè Guāng's faint smile has let Hinata know what to do. Chapter 83 Thundergirl Yèyuè Hinata, 4th more seeking subscription. Then now, the battle between Yèyuè Hinata and Hyuga Neji, begin. As the referee, Moonlight Hayate immediately used the body flicker technique to retreat at the moment it announced the start of the game, giving the two a wide area for the game. Almost at the first instant, the two of them caused bruises on both sides of their eyes. It changed the expressions of many ninjas in the outer village. Is that the legendary Byakugan? Sure enough, Byakugan is still awakened? Sarutobi Hiruzen and many Konoha shinobi's eyes are mainly focused on Hinata. But in the next second, they will clearly see the difference between the two sides. Hyuga Neji showed off the gentle fist method. Hinata clenched his left hand into a fist and flicked it aside. Zila boom. The violent lightning formed a protective shield covering the surface of the delicate body. The temperament of the originally weak soft girl suddenly changed, and she was full of anger. What is that? Naruto was so scared that he almost fell to the ground. The other genins were also very scared. 10 good, a terrifying deterrent. Ray, lightning style chakra mode. Kakashi trembled. Lightning style chakra mode. Haruno Sakura noticed Kakashi's words and turned to ask. Ms. Kakashi, what is lightning style chakra mode? That's the ninjutsu passed down from generation to generation by Raikage. Kakashi lifted the forehead protector covering his left eye and used Sharingan to observe the flow of Hinata's chakra, embarrassed. I didn't expect Yèyuè Guāng to give her this trick, and at such a young age, he would become the master. Orochimaru, who pretended to be the leader of Jonin in the Atonin squad, subconsciously stretched out the head of the society and added Changshi, and smiled inwardly. You really have a lot of talents under you, Guāng-kun. Fortunately, everyone's attention is now on Hinata. Otherwise, if Sarutobi Hiruzen or others who knew him noticed his habitual movement, Bachung would start to doubt him. The next moment, like a phantom, and like a meteor, Hinata's figure appeared, flashing to the left of Hyuga Neji. Nani? Hyuga Neji's face changed drastically. However, the hand knife of Hinata's thunder and lightning has been cut off. Advertisement lateral bolt of pain. Good, Haruno Sakura and other weak genin just wanted to exclaim, so fast. But before the word, fast, could be spoken, Hyuga Neji was hit in the shoulder. So fast. It's so fast. Even Uchiha Sasuke, who silently opened 2 Tomo Sharingan, couldn't help but shed cold sweat. So fast, it's so fast, my Sharingan can't keep up. The Yuri Red Squad, who was previously defeated by Kimimaro in 1 pass and 3 times, was even more shocked. I thought that the one with bones was the strongest of the 3. Unexpectedly, that little girl who looks soft and looks like a rabbit is the most terrifying. Ended. Kimimaro said indifferently. Neji's strength is not that simple. Might Guy showed the big white fang. At this time, Hinata's eyebrows were slightly weakened. In the next instant, Hyuga Neji, who was hit in the shoulder, spun around sharply and turned into a huge chakra semicircle. The shock wave that erupted temporarily forced Hinata back. That's revolving heaven. Many Konoha Jonin's face changed again. Gentle Fist, a master of the clan family, was actually learned by the branch house. Seeing Hinata stepping back, Tenten exclaimed excitedly. See? This is Neji's strength. When Neji stopped spinning, there was no trace of complacency on his face, but more solemn. Feeling the pain from the left shoulder, I couldn't help but grit his teeth secretly. The bones may be misplaced. Revolving heaven has already been launched, but I didn't expect to return. Unexpectedly, the children of the branch house will be able to master revolving heaven. It seems that the outcome is unknown. Ta Rihong couldn't help but look forward to it. Although Hyuga Neji is not her student, it represents Konoha after all, doesn't it? Long hair and short knowledge. The indifferent ridicule coming from the side, the suddenly angry red flower of the evening paled, turned his head and roared at Yèyuè Guāng. What are you talking about? Smelly man. However, Yèyuè Guāng didn't answer a word, but just signaled Shi Rihong to continue watching. Hinata used Byakugan again to observe the flow of Hyuga Neji's chakra, and said slowly. Advertisement. Did you release a lot of gentle fist chakra shields from the chakra acupoint? So what? Seeing that the opponent looked at his nirvana and still looked calm, Hyuga Neji suddenly became angry. Hinata and Yèyuè Guāng did not return a word, just slowly raised his right hand. The right hand, which was originally wrapped in the golden thunderlight, rose again with a layer of light, flooding the entire right hand knife. Hinata took a breath and pointed the hand knife with 4 fingers spread towards Hyuga Neji. No, isn't it? She even learned that trick? Kakashi was stunned with horror. That trick? The 7th class looked at Kakashi with curious eyes. Third Raikage was called the strongest Raikage in history during his lifetime. It relied on his strongest spear and strongest shield. Among them, the strongest shield is the lightning style chakra now covering Hinata. Armor and the strongest spear. My 657 special guy deep voice interface. It's the trick she uses now on her right hand, a stunt known as Hell Spur. Hell Stab. Rock Lee was surprised. Even 4th Raikage doesn't have the master's strongest spear. She actually learned it? Ta Rihong said in disbelief. Neji, abstain. Might Guy exclaimed anxiously. You can't stop the Hell Thrust. Both Rock Lee and Tenten have incredible faces. Teacher Guy actually said the word, abstain. What a joke, nothing can break through my revolving heaven. Hyuga Neji spun sharply like a top again and shouted. Come if you want. Try it, Hell Spikes 4 can't you? Under the burst of double thunder, Hinata rushed out and even many of them dared not say that he could block the move. Even Rock Lee, who has always regarded Hyuga Neji as a target, feels that if Neji is hit by that trick, his body will not be split in half. Puff. There is no resistance at all. The moment the strongest spear hits the surface of revolving heaven. It's like taking a bullet to look at a balloon. Hammer it into a residue. And Hell Stab, still advancing like Hyuga Neji. It's not that Hinata doesn't keep her hands, it's that she can't stop the car. Chapter 84 The Strong Gather, for my use, 5th more seeking subscription. The first door, open the door. At this moment, Might Guy didn't care that his own shot would be equal to Hyuga Neji's defeat. Quickly open the first door of 8 inner gates and take action to save people. Although he wanted to open a few more doors, the Hell Stab at Hinata was less than 2 meters away from Hyuga Neji. The time to pierce his body is less than an instant. He didn't have time to open the second door. Seeing that Might Guy had just jumped out, and the hell spike had pierced the revolving heaven, only less than 10 centimeters away from Hyuga Neji. It seems to have seen Neji's body doubled in two. Tenten couldn't help covering his eyes with his hands and screamed out. No. Slap, the last moments, just when everyone's heart rose to the throat. The sound of thunder finally stopped. Look in the middle again. Yèyuè Guāng is standing between Hinata and Hyuga Neji, holding Hinata's wrist with one hand. The hell spike stopped less than 5 centimeters from Hyuga Neji's heart. Tenten collapsed to the ground, almost collapsed. I only felt that a big rock that was pressing in my heart finally fell. How did he get there? The goose on the second pillar seemed to be stunned. If Hinata's speed is just unable to keep up, then Yèyuè Guāng himself hadn't seen how he ran from the stands to the center of the field just now. Hyuga Neji, who felt that death was so close to him for the first time, couldn't relieve himself for a while. Suddenly he fell to the ground on one knee, gasping for breath. Sorry, Eduo-sang, it didn't stop, Hinata apologized. It's okay, even if you hit just now, you can actually avoid the key. Yèyuè Guāng turned to look at the Might Guy who had arrived. The outcome has been determined, right, Mr. Guy? Of course, Might Guy nodded repeatedly, put Hyuga Neji on one knee on his shoulder, and jumped back to the stand again. Winner, Yèyuè Hinata. Advertisement Moonlight Hayate, who finally came back to his senses, raised his hand and announced. When Might Guy tried to save people, it was equivalent to Hyuga Neji's defeat. The thunder light covering Hinata's body surface also faded, and he walked back to the stand with Yèyuè Guāng. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the back of the two with a bit of jealousy. At such a young age, I learned the strongest spear, and strongest shield, of the strongest Raikage. This kind of genius, unexpectedly failed to stay in Konoha, hated. If Yèyuè Guāng knows what Sarutobi Hiruzen is thinking, he can't help but smile. Stay in Konoha. Those geniuses who stay in Konoha will definitely be killed by you. Don't know how to count. The screen on the wall flickered again. Uchiha Sasuke vs Red Carcass Armor. This battle is no different from the original. The two pillars killed the Konoha shinobi who appeared to be Konoha shinobi with the lion bullets. After the battle, Kakashi took Uchiha Sasuke away to deal with his curse. Just when Yèyuè Guāng thought that the list of matches was going to return to the original, the change happened again. Ken Masumi vs Kagaya Kimimaro. See the first name on the screen, or the last name. Many Jonin who participated in the Third Ninja War, Konoha vs Mist Shinobi War, frowned slightly. Kagaya? Is that Kagaya? That guy is on. K9's teeth gritted his teeth. Orochimaru, who had originally planned to observe how Kakashi was in Sasuke's Curse of Heaven, saw this list of matches and subconsciously looked at Yèyuè Guāng. Ken Masumi is also a spy in Otogyo Village, and naturally he is Orochimaru's subordinate. And what Orochimaru's eyes mean now is, do you want Jian Meichung to abstain? Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand gently, indicating that he did not need it. Orochimaru then left quietly. Ken Masumi, who has pirated Luffy skills, is most afraid of Kimimaro. When he tried to wrap Kimimaro with a soft body like rubber. Inu Jaya whispered in a terrified tone, that guy is dead. Akamaru on his head also made an, ow, response with a look of fear. The Ino Shikacho trio next to him thought that guy, Inu Jaya was talking about was Kimimaro, but Tang Song's dance. Kimimaro spit out 4 words coldly in the mouth of Kimimaro who was trapped by the software. Advertisement endless bones rushed out from under the skin, piercing Jian Meichung like a hedgehog to the heart. Sudden bloody scene. Let Haruno Sakura and other women scream out in fright. 2. Horrible. Dead. Although Naruto wasn't scared so exaggerated, he swallowed his saliva fiercely. I was pierced through 27 holes. Even if I didn't die on the spot, it was almost the same. Kakashi who kept Sharingan turned on was also a little bit chilly. Is this Cloud Shinobi Village? Sure enough, he is the successor of the Kei Yoruichi clan. Might Guy said solemnly. In the Third Ninja World War, he fought against this clan. Teacher Guy, Wei Yoruichi is, Rock Lee asked puzzledly. Mist Shinobi can freely control the growth of the number of bones in the body. The Dead Bone Pulse blood succession bound clan. Originally, their clan should have been annihilated by Fourth Raikage a few years ago. No, I did not expect that there will be survivors. Might Guy said coldly. In the past, the Yoruichi family of Wei also made him suffer a lot. Mist Shinobi's family, why did it become Cloud Shinobi's ninja, and the girl who has Byakugan just like Neji? Tenten was even more puzzled. How does it feel that Cloud Shinobi's genin are all the blood of other shinobi villages? That's the case with Byakugan's Yūga Hinata just now. Now this guy with bones is Mist Shinobi's again. Which village is the beautiful girl in kimono from? Isn't it Iwagakure or Sanagakure? This question raised by Tenten was also curiously raised by other Konoha Shoukang and even the Sotomura ninja. How come Cloud Shinobi has so many ninjas from other villages? No matter which ninja village's talents are, they can be used by me. Yèyuè Guāng raised his head and smiled. The strong are gathered for my use. This is Cloud Shinobi Village. Hearing Yèyuè Guāng's speech like this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face almost turned black. The mood of other Konoha Jonin is also not good. Anyone who knows a little bit about Konoha's history of human destruction. You can hear the deep meaning of Yèyuè Guāng's words. Chapter 85 Talent Excavator Cloud Shinobi Village, 6th More Seeking Subscription. The next few battles were more boring. Kankuro, who was originally the opponent of Ken Masumi in the original, faced Atonin's Zack. Relying on puppetry that the country folks have never seen before, Kankuro is still the same as the original, winning quite easily. Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino are plastic sisters. Although Yèyuè Guāng likes watching women fight, but there is a prerequisite, that is, they must be beautiful women. If Sam Yi and Terumi Mei fought, it would be interesting. What's the point of this kind of little girl tearing? Tamari and Tenten clash. It is still exactly the same as the original, a battle of completely unequal strength. With the overwhelming advantage of wind style, Tenten had nothing to fight back. The two of Sanagakure won successively. It also brought a lot of pressure to Konoha. Not only Cloud Shinobi, but Sand Shinobi is also so powerful? In fact, this is not the case, because Sanagakure is still enough to see, and it is also the third sister and brother of Fengying. Just when Yèyuè Guāng was bored and wanted to yawn, he finally divided into an interesting battle group. White vs Nara Shikamaru. Is it the last person in Cloud Shinobi Village? Kakashi turned his gaze slightly, turned his side to the white policeman, half-emptied his eyes and said. What kind of ninjutsu will she perform? 660. How's that? I hate hitting women the most. Why don't you abstain? Nara Shikamaru yawned and said lazily. Don't worry, I am a man. Bai replied with a smile as he walked down the steps. Nani, Naruto, Inujaya and others all looked desperate with the collapse of the world view. Haruno Sakura, Yamanaka Ino and other women also opened their mouths wide, and their chins almost fell on the ground. Male. Do you want to abstain? Bai Yisheng and laughter showed everyone's demeanor, but in reality they were bigger than you. No, let's play it. If my mother knows about the abstention, it will scold me to death. Nara Shikamaru scratched his head and walked off the stand. But the actual truth is that Asuma whispered to him just now that he wanted him to fight. Third Hokage wanted to see the last person's ability in Cloud Shinobi Village. Hokage's order cannot be disobeyed. White vs Nara Shikamaru, start. Moonlight Hurricane waved. Advertisement, shadow imitation. Nara Shikamaru is the first to strike first. During this period, his attacking tactics were still too lacking, and he focused on team combat. Slightly pulling the hips when alone. Does it have to be faster than whose printing speed is? While Nara Shikamaru made the seal of shadow imitation, Bai also made the seal. Water-style water dragon bomb technique. Suddenly, a large number of water waves overflowed from the stone bricks at Bai's feet, and in a very short time it turned into a giant dragon roaring and rushing towards Nara Shikamaru. No. Nara Shikamaru was shocked when he saw this, and quickly retracted the shadow imitation technique and jumped sideways to dodge. Through the shrewd brain passed down from the ancestors of the Nara clan, he instantly judged that the opponent's ninjutsu speed was faster than his own. If it's against Bo, I'll be dead. Water-style ninja? It's really rare for Cloud Shinobi. Might Guy was surprised. More than that, Kakashi frowned and analyzed. She only used 3 seals just now to use Water Dragon Bomb. The Mist Shinobi Jonin I met before didn't cut it, but used 5 seals. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned tightly. His expression was calm on the surface, but his heart was already earth-shaking. The 3 seals used the Water Dragon Bomb, which is the skill of his teacher Senju Toburama. In the later stage, Senju Toburama even 1 seal is enough. Difficult, can it be said a terrible guess arose in Sarutobi Hiruzen. It's an exaggerated amount of water. It's impossible for a non-physical ninja like me to avoid this level of water style in a battlefield of this size. Stepping on the puddle, Nara Shikamaru wiped away the water stains on his face. Ended. Yèyuè Guāng's abrupt words attracted the eyes of everyone around the stands. Basidi. What are you talking about? Shikamaru hasn't lost yet. Asuma refused to accept it. Yes? Yèyuè Guāng's voice just fell. From below, I felt a sharp chill at Nara Shikamaru in the center of the station. Looking down, I found that the surrounding puddles were all frozen. And will step on it, his feet are firmly fixed on the ice surface. Bing, bing done. Might Guy opened his mouth in astonishment. Mist, the ice of the Mist Shinobi Snow Clan. Mist Shinobi? Isn't it Cloud Shinobi? Advertisement? Tenten was completely confused. Why are all Cloud Shinobi Genin team ninjas from other villages? Konoha's Byakugan, Mist Shinobi's Dead Bone Pulse, Mist Shinobi's Ice Escape. Anyway, there is no Cloud Shinobi zone. Not only Genins, but even Jonin such as Kakashi, Might Guy, Yurihong, and even Sarutobi Hiruzen, Naruto, are all stupid. Isn't it too showy? The identity is Cloud Shinobi Ninja, but no one is born Cloud Shinobi. They are all other villages, and they are all heirs of the blood succession boundary. Do you follow the excavator? And Yèyuè Guāng said that it should be called a talent excavator. As long as there are talents, it can be used by me. If you take out Mangekyo's Uchiha Spring, why not scare you to death? The victory is divided. Shiro walked up to Nara Shikamaru, whose feet were frozen, and put a senbon needle to his throat. Moonlight Hayate also admitted that there was no suspense about the outcome, and had to announce. Winner, White. In this way, the 3 genin of Cloud Shinobi Village all passed. By constantly tapping the talents of other shinobi village to expand one's own strength, is this the way to become a powerful country in Cloud Shinobi Village? Mr. Yèyuè Guāng. Kakashi turned his head and asked. Yèyuè Guāng replied with a smile. This is also thanks to many shinobu villages who don't know how to cherish talents. I am different from them. Sarutobi Hiruzen expressed suspicion that you were referring to Sang Wai. At the same time, everyone had to shudder at the current power of Cloud Shinobi. They are afraid, if the next Ninja World War is brought. Which village can block Cloud Shinobi? The next round is also a very interesting Group 1. Uzumaki Naruto vs Kim. It was the illusionist girl in Yin Village. Naruto's strength at the moment is also very tasteless. More importantly, I don't know how to crack illusion at all. I was recruited immediately. Seeing Naruto fell to the ground late. Moonlight Storm was about to announce his defeat. Suddenly, a burst of blood-red chakra overflowed from Naruto's body. In an instant, Naruto's face became extremely hunting. At this moment, Naruto exploded with a speed that stunned Rock Lee, Hyuga Neji and other physical ninjas. A punch hit Jin's stomach. Chapter 86. Get out of me, first more seeking subscription. To be honest, Konoha Genin's performance is really not as expected. Except for Uchiha Sasuke's victory at the beginning, he was basically losing. Hyuga Neji lost to Hinata of Cloud Shinobi. Orochimaru lost to White. Tenten also lost to Temari, and to be honest, the second pillar won, not so beautiful. Coupled with the relationship between the curse and seal, it is basically a win. What everyone didn't expect was that Naruto would be the one that shines. Although at the moment of hitting Feijin, he fell to his knees and entered a state of collapse. But the power that broke out at that moment just now made everyone present couldn't help but be moved. What was that just now? Bailu's eyebrows were twisted together, and the facial features were full of incomprehension. It's very similar to the breath of Bai-sama, it's impossible. And Kimimaro, who has practiced sword art with Killer Bee and is already familiar with the existence of the tail beast, has guessed in his heart. And to say that among these people, the most emotionally fluctuating is undoubtedly Gaara. At this moment, his hands clasped in front of Yu Shang clasped 10 fingers, his brows were tightly twisted together, and he whispered Naruto's name in a low voice. Uzumaki Naruto in the last 2 games, Gaara vs Rock Lee, Akamichi Choji vs Toss. It's just like the original. Even if the result is already known, Rock Lee's performance in opening 5th gate is indeed moving. When seeing him being carried out on a stretcher by the medical ninja, Yèyuè Guāng secretly said. It's a pity, boy, this world is a bloodliner. In the 4th ninja battle between Prince and Urzuzi in the late period, they jumped from cage level to 6 paths in just 3 days. This speed of progress made countless people who crossed weep for it. Is it because they work hard? It's not because the father of the previous life gave it away. And with the battle between Toss and Akamichi Choji ended. The 9 people who entered the finals were finally decided. Yèyuè Hinata, Uchiha Sasuke, Kagaya Kimimaro, Kankuro, Temari, White, Uzumaki Naruto, Gaara, Toss. Among the 9 players, only Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto, who were sensitive to the background, entered the finals. Regardless of Cloud Shinobi or Sand Shinobi, the number of people is higher than Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help his face black. I really don't want to show such achievements to the dignitaries of various countries. Advertisement. I knew that Hyuga Neji should be assigned a bad opponent. However, it is too late to regret it now. Sarutobi Hiruzen had to stand up and explain the rules of the final round. 1 month later, it will be held in the martial arts field in the central area of Konoha. This month is not only to give candidates time to improve their strength and rest, but also to give time to the nobles of various countries who want to watch the game to Konoha. After the explanation, Midarashi Anko came from behind, motioned to the box in his hand and said. Come on, let's draw lots to decide the list of matches. First, Yèyuè Hinata will come first. Hinata heard the words, walked up in a small step and pulled out a folded note, unfolding. It's 1. Is it the first one again? Forget it, it's okay. Yèyuè Guāng lifted his cheek with one hand. Then Kimimaro, Kankuro and others also went forward to draw lots one by one. Because Uchiha Sasuke is not there, the last sign left goes to him. Round 1. Yèyuè Hinata vs Uchiha Sasuke. Round 2. Uzumaki Naruto vs Gaara. Round 3. White vs Temari. Round 4. Kimimaro vs Kankuro. Toss by, interesting. After seeing this match table, Yèyuè Guāng couldn't help but applaud. Gaara also looked at Naruto with a look that is hard to describe in words, excited, expectant, and bloodthirsty. After learning from Kakashi, it is completely certain that Orochimaru plans to take action in this Chunin exam. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to stay here either, so he hurriedly returned to the administrative building to discuss countermeasures with his old friends. A bloodline battle between Hyuga and Uchiha. Might Guy frowned and said. To be honest, I don't think Sasuke can win. Well, the strength gap is too big. Although I hate the guy Yèyuè Guāng, Ta Rihong also has to admit this. And Naruto is also very dangerous. The opponent is Gaara, who defeated Xiao Li. If the 2 Konoha shinobi who reached the final are defeated in the first round. Konoha's face was ashamed. Yèyuè Guāng, who took Hinata and the 3 to leave, couldn't help but smile contemptuously when he heard the conversation between the 2. -0 seeking flowers. Advertisement: you Konoha are about to face a disaster, and still have kung fu to care about face. Ahem. After returning to the hotel, Kimimaro couldn't hold back again and coughed violently. Several large mouthfuls of blood spurted out of his mouth. Kimimaro, are you okay? Bai looked shocked, and quickly took hold of his arm. No, it's okay. Kimimaro was sweating coldly. It's very troublesome to go on like this. Don't participate in the battle of Konoha's destruction plan. Yèyuè Guāng frowned. But, Lord Everbright, Kimimaro was anxious to say something, but was interrupted by Yèyuè Guāng. What you have to do now is to live so that you can be more loyal to me, don't forget this. 0 inches. Yes. Kimimaro lowered his head and said. The current method is to call Tsunade and have a look at the versatile Hashirama cell, right? Yèyuè Guāng pondered secretly. As the world's first medical ninja Tsunade Hime, her medical strength absolutely surpasses the original work Yakushi Kabuto, who has nothing to do with Kimimaro's hemorrhagic disease. The second is Hashirama cells that can treat any disease, whether it is the side effect of Mangekyo or Naruto's severed limb. It feels like a medical artifact and can do everything. It can be called the hot water of Yèyuè Guāng's previous life. Any disease can be cured by drinking more hot water. The 1-month rest time not only gives time for the important figures of various countries to go to Konoha. It also made Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, the elite troops of Yin, secretly rush to the border of the country of fire and lurked. Just waiting for an order from the leader, Konoha was taken down completely. And in this vacant month, the prince and the second pillar, who had a very poor foundation, also gained rapid growth under the guidance of Jiraiya and Kakashi respectively. The road of the two people is also regarded as their road of opening and hanging. With the passage of half a month, dignitaries from various countries also came to Konoha to watch the finals. However, get out of here. In the bustling Konoha shopping street, Yèyuè Guāng, who wandered around with sisters Hinata and Hyuga Hinata, suddenly opened his mouth, again. Chapter 87 Naruto Celestial Dragons, second more seeking subscription. Get out of here. Right now is the time when the Chunin exam finals are held, and Konoha has also gathered many wealthy or powerful figures from other countries. There are also many people hanging out in this commercial street. When they heard Yèyuè Guāng's words, many people subconsciously turned their heads to look at him. After seeing no movement, Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand. The endless electric waves of the surrounding air, like plankton floating on the sea surface invisible, began to creep and gradually gather in one direction. In the end it turned into a huge spherical electromagnetic gas hood. The strongest Thor system, open black lens bracket host, Yèyuè Guāng close black lens bracket, first template, Enel. Unlocking degree. 100%, second template, Masaka Makoto absolutely capable person form, with a human body, reaching, 66-0, to the realm of gods. Unlocking rate, 72.4%, if it was based on the fusion of seeing, hearing, color and electromagnetic waves, Yèyuè Guāng might not be able to perceive the other's existence. But now, he has perfected all the power of Master Masaka Makoto as a LV5 superpower. And it is to march into the realm of God LV6, perceive with electromagnetic force. Unless it is hiding in another space like Kamui of Uchiha Obito or the tomb of Six Paths Madara. Otherwise, don't try to avoid Yèyuè Guāng's perception. When Might Guy brought Hyuga Neji and 3 people here, he happened to see one side of the block. A huge thunderball continued to expand and subconsciously exclaimed. What's that stuff? Next to his Might Guy class, he also followed the Shirihong class and Asuma class. Since these 3 classes totaled 9 genin, none of them made it to the finals, so Might Guy suggested that everyone come to the restaurant together. That is to comfort these boys. Asuma didn't want to go. Recently, he wanted to find Yurihong to come out for a date and was repeatedly rejected. He is thinking about a new strategy. How can you have time to eat with the thick eyebrows of Might Guy? However, Shirihong agreed on an unprecedented basis. Advertisement: there is no choice but to come. However, when they first came to this bustling street, they saw this scene. On one side of the street corner, a semicircular thunderball is constantly expanding, as if it will burst in the next second, turning the whole street upside down. What is that B********* D Yèyuè Guāng doing? Ta Rihong's eyes stared like a copper bell and roared. However, it hasn't waited for the thunderball to detonate. A mixture of black and white in 2 colors, looking at it from a distance, it is as if a chakra sphere with a Tai Chi pattern is spinning sharply. Break the thunderball. That's one Neji's revolving heaven. Rock Lee, who hung a cane, had an incredible face, but then he was confused and said. But it's a little different. The gentle fist chakra operates in the same way, but the defensive power it uses is completely different. What is revolving heaven? Hyuga Neji also opened Byakugan for the first time, embarrassed. He didn't want to admit it, but he had to admit that revolving heaven might be able to block Hinata's hell thrust. Ta Rihong stared in her eyes and said in a daze, which trick offset Yèyuè Guāng's thunder and lightning. Several people quickened their pace to catch up. Revolving heaven, an enhanced version of the Tai Chi pattern, has stopped, and the practitioner standing in it is the true face. Also shown in front of everyone, it was a middle-aged man and a teenager of the same age as Hinata and Konoha. From their extremely similar facial features, it can be judged that their relationship is father and son. But the boy's eyes were hollow without eyeballs, it looks shuddering. Only through their appearance, everyone perceives that they are completely different from normal people. Pale hair color, skin, eyes ashamed of clothing. The whole body is pale white that makes people feel uncomfortable. Then, that person also has Byakugan. Is it from the Hyuga family? Ta Rihong noticed the strangeness. Although the boy had no eyeballs, the middle-aged man had Byakugan. I haven't seen a Hyuga with that skin color. Advertisement. Hyuga Neji shook his head in denial. I didn't expect that the human race in this despicable world created by Yèyuè could actually see through the existence of my ninja sect. The middle-aged Byakugan man closed his eyes and said coldly. It turns out that, as Hinata said recently, it's your nervous father and son that feels prying eyes. Yèyuè Guāng sneered, looking at the other person's skin pale as if he was waxed. Only then did he remember the identities of these two people. The Otsutsuki branch house on the moon is also a descendant of Sage of Six Paths' younger brother, Otsutsuki Hamura. The theater version once said that because the Geto statue was taken away by Uchiha Madara summoning. Therefore, there was a serious disagreement between the clan family and the branch house on the moon. In the end, the branch house wiped out the Zong family at the cost of a tragic victory. And the little devil without eyeballs is the little devil called Otsutsuki Saijin, who has captured Hyuga Hanabi's eyes in the future and will evolve from Byakugan to Tenseigan. Listening to what you said, it seems to know one of my clan. The two remaining Otsutsuki people on the moon, Otsutsuki's father, Otsutsuki asked with a frown. Neuropathy family, what about Lei Guaner? Yèyuè Guāng's face is full of contemptuous smiles. What do you want to do when you run into this world that you expect to destroy? Even without asking, Yèyuè Guāng can roughly guess it. The original Otsutsuki Sharon, who wanted to destroy the world in the late second stage of the second disease, said that he was very young. I have been to the earth, and I have a good impression of Hinata, who I happened to meet at that time. It must be this time. However, during this period, Laozi was still alive, which made the moonlight of 2.3 night a bit unexpected. I have no intention of communicating with the inferior race created by Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Although I am very puzzled as to why Yèyuè Guāng, a man on earth, knew about Otsutsuki, his pride in his bones made Otsutsuki not ask the other person again. There is no pure Otsutsuki bloodline on the earth anymore. In their pure blood, people on earth are inferior races. What are they talking about? The onlookers Shi Rihong and others were completely stupid. Why do you feel that you can't understand a word? Are you the celestial dragons of Naruto World? Yèyuè Guāng feels amused, and the next second kills the sky. Then let me cut open your belly, dig out your brain, and let me see where you are advanced. Chapter 88 in my presence, in front of the Thunder Giant, third more seeking subscription. Not to mention that Otsutsuki's arrogant tone like celestial dragons made Yèyuè Guāng extremely unhappy. Then think of what the kid Otsutsuki did when he coveted Hinata and poached the eyes of girl Hanabi in the original work. Yèyuè Guāng couldn't think of a reason to let go of these two father and son. Pi, boom. The violent electric current was like a thunder in the world, and the clear sky above Konoha, which was still cloudless, was instantly shrouded in dark clouds. 200 million volts, Kylin. Yèyuè Guāng just hooked his finger, and the nirvana of the second pillar in the original work that almost killed the filial son emerged. The howling thunder beast roared and fell from the dark clouds. Just now when Otsutsuki's manager used the black and white revolving heaven trick, the tourists in the bustling street were almost running away. Only ninjas like Might Guy and Yurihong who are observing the situation are left. But even so, I will see when the unicorn comes to the world. Each of them also felt the chill from the soul. What kind of lightning style is that? Mention Konoha's strongest lightning style. The first reaction of everyone is probably Raikiri of Kakashi. But compared to the behemoth in front of me, oh my god, the gap is too far, right? What are 10 things? In the suburbs, Uchiha Sasuke and Naruto who practiced Chidori and summoning technique by the river turned their heads to look. Also noticed the thunder monsters roaring and falling in Konoha village. And right below the unicorn landing, Otsutsuki's eyes suddenly burst into blue veins. As expected, it is the same Byakugan as the Hyuga clan. Who are these father and son? Immediately afterwards, the Otsutsuki Rihido put on a posture that was somewhat similar to the gentle fist method of the Hyuga family, not only visually but obviously different. God airstrike. In the next instant, Otsutsuki ran a big punch. The outburst of chakra formed a huge round of fists in the air, like a giant fist, slamming on the bridge of the unicorn's nose. Boom. The collision of the thunder and lightning and the full punch broke out two explosive powers that an ordinary ninja would never be able to match in a lifetime. And formed a wave of air, spreading out toward the surrounding circle after circle. Wow. Advertisement Rock Lee, who was already in a state of serious injury and still sticking a cane, was accidentally blown out by the wind like a kite. Lee. Be careful. Fortunately, Might Guy has quick eyes and quick hands, and quickly grabbed Rock Lee. What kind of monsters are these two people? Tenten screamed as he put his hands in front of his face. The storm caused by the collision is far above the Tamari that defeated him. It is impossible to imagine what the consequences will be if those two moves are taken head-on. Hyuga Neji also folded his hands to form a shield to block his face. But he still tried to open Byakugan, looking forward through the thin gap between his fingers. He was incredible in his heart. You can't go wrong. The tricks used by the white-clothed man are similar to those of the gentle fist of the Hyuga clan, but they are all stronger by one dimension. What is going on? It's not just this street. the entire Konoha was severely impacted. What happened? Sarutobi Hiruzen rushed out of the administrative building and looked towards the thunderous bustling area. Yèyuè Guāng is at war with a mysterious man. The identity of the opponent is still unknown. Azuki Yuyan and other Anbu team members hurriedly reported. What? Plug in. Picture Sarutobi once again looked at the battlefield with an unbelievable expression. Waki Yoraichi's moves, is that the true face of the Otsutsuki Hamura Gentle Fist method? Seeing that the other party's Gentle Fist could actually withstand the unicorn, Yèyuè Guāng analyzed it with vacant eyes. Behind Yèyuè Guāng, Hinata hugged Hyuga Hinata tightly to avoid her being injured by the shock. Master Everbright, Bai and Kimimaro were present almost at the same time. At the same time, there were also many Konoha shinobi. Secretly, there are spies from Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Otoyuki and other villages staring at them. What's the situation? Then, who are those two people? I was right? Someone blocked Lei Shi just now? The ninja chiefs such as Hyuga Haishi, Hyuga Hizashi and Ino Shikacho who had just arrived were also dumbfounded. Hanabi, go back. Advertisement Yèyuè Guāng said calmly. Hyuga Hanabi himself knew that in this level of battle, he was a drag. Without further ado, he ran back to his father Hyuga Haishi. Hinata, that boy without eyes, leave it to you. Yèyuè Guāng said again. Hinata Baikugan bloomed, thunder light covered the body, and the lightning-style chakra mode broke out, responding. Yes. Oh Dusan. Many Konoha shinobi people around heard Hinata's name for Yèyuè Guāng, and their expressions were complicated. Somewhat surprisingly, the human beings in the inferior world created by Sage of Six Paths can issue such an attack. In Baikugan's state, Otsutsuki Rihido twisted his wrists a little numb due to thunder and lightning, but the arrogance in his tone did not reduce the taste. But with this level alone, there is nothing I can do about it. The Otsutsuki family really owes so much to clean up. Yèyuè Guāng understands the mood when Straw Hat Crew beat celestial dragons in Pirate World. In the big world, how can it be done without a few 660 neuropathies? Oh, I'm so scared. After a strange yin and yang sentence, Yèyuè Guāng slowly closed his eyes, and the moment everyone around him noticed something wrong. The pupils suddenly opened, and the violent current spread to every corner of Konoha like plankton. Boom! In the Tenten's weapon shop, the weapons that were hung on the wall and locked in the locker for ninjas to buy, as if responding to some call, flew out of the locker and gathered in one direction. What's the situation? Father Tenten exclaimed. Not only that, the third sister and brother Fengying, who were watching from afar, also grabbed their weapons to avoid being attracted by the powerful electromagnetic force. And on the way, it automatically disintegrated into iron sand and disappeared. Even Gaara's sand. Looking down to find Gaara's gourd is also about to move, Kankuro, who is clutching the iron fan and the puppet, thinks incredibly. Immediately afterwards, under the incredible gaze of countless people, the light of thunder rising into the sky gradually solidified into a human-shaped silhouette. Iron sand, dust, stone chips and other things began to cover its surface. In the end, he turned into a giant with a height of 100 meters, with thunder as his body and iron sand as his skin. In my presence, in front of the thunder giant, I want to see how you can block it. Chapter 89 Thunder. Super Electromagnetic Gun, 4th more seeking subscription. The thunder giant, with its thunder and lightning body and iron sand as its skin, is still absorbing nutrients from the earth and the air. Using electromagnetic waves to crush them into powder, and then cover the surface of the body like skin. It looks like it has a pair of wings, but it is not, it is actually absorbing nutrients. The dark clouds in the sky gradually dispersed, and it seemed that they did not dare to compete with this ghost-like thunder and lightning giant. This is not what the Everbright people practiced a few years ago. Is this the true face of that trick? Bai couldn't help the whole body trembling, and he took 2 steps back instinctively. In his mind, the scene of Yèyuè Guāng practicing this trick in the Canyon of Clouds came to mind subconsciously a few years ago. At that time, it was scary enough, I thought it was the limit. I didn't expect this to be the real face. Kimimaro next to him is better than him, but his eyes are also staring, unable to speak. As their own, Bai and Kimimaro still have such an attitude. Not to mention the people in other shinobu villages present. Especially, although Cloud Shinobi appears to be an ally, Konoha has an extremely bad relationship. Whether it is the geniuses who are now dead, the Might Guy, who is the highest combat force of Sarutobi Hiruzen, or those who just debuted. Looking up at this behemoth that almost pierced the sky, only a sense of fear stemmed from the depths of the soul. The reason why he turned and flee without fear is because Konoha and Cloud Shinobi still maintain an alliance. There is no public turnaround, and they also knew that Yèyuè Guāng used this trick to clean up, not them. Compared with Konoha, the others were shocked by the size of this thunder giant like a ghost. Headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen, 3 of the 4 members of the Elders group including Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura. He concentrated his gaze on the iron sand skin on the surface of the thunder giant. Iron sand. That's right, the death scenes of Sarutobi Shinosuke and Sarutobi Rise 6 years ago are full of this stuff. And because of this thing, Sarutobi Hiruzen locked the first suspicion target on Sand Shinobi. He even almost broke out with Sand Shinobi, and now, Yèyuè Guāng can also control iron sand. In addition, in the previous Death Forest vs. Tower qualifiers, Bai, like his teacher Senju Toburama, used Water Dragon Bomb with only 3 seals. Doesn't this mean, advertisement okay? Sarutobi dared not think about the next thing. The celestial dragons Otsutsuki of Naruto World finally couldn't maintain that high-pitched posture this time. If he can have Tensigen, he may be able to maintain that high arrogance, but the problem is that he doesn't. Sharon. Let's go. It was just a glance, and Otsutsuki didn't have the courage to fight. Apart from anything else, he quickly yelled for his son to flee with him. However, the answer from the imagined son Otsutsuki Sharon did not come. An unknown premonition flooded my mind. With a cold sweat on his face, Otsutsuki turned his head to look. It happened to see Hinata's hell burst piercing his son's gentle fist. While cutting off the 3 fingers of the palm of his right hand, he should pierce his lungs as much as 5 centimeters. The Otsutsuki Yaren who resisted the severe pain quickly retreated, trying to withdraw from Hinata's attack range. However, he convened too much, resulting in the perception ability of Fujitora that is not inferior to Pirate World, but failed to detect it. Kimimaro and Bai are already standing behind him, waiting for him to step back. After Bai Jian, as if using summoning technique, he covered the ground with the palm of his right hand. The ice spread to the surrounding land, freezing the feet of the Otsutsuki Sharon who had retreated sharply. Die. Kimimaro coldly pulled out the bone knife, directly trying to pierce the heart of Otsutsuki Yaren from behind. Leave him for a while. Seeing that Kimimaro's bone spur was about to pierce the heart of Otsutsuki Sharon, Yèyuè Guāng on the center of the Thunder Giant Tinling guys suddenly thought of something and shouted. Kimimaro heard the words and hurriedly twisted his wrist. At the very last moment, the bone spur was inserted into the clavicle at the upper end of the heart. Don't you? Otsutsuki yelled heartbreakingly. Do you still have time to care about that dog, son? Yèyuè Guāng raised his horn and sneered, and raised his right hand slightly to form a vertical shape with the ground. Advertisement. The Thunder Giant at his feet also raised his right hand. As if sleeping together, put your thumb on the joint of your index finger. Railgun, super electromagnetic gun. Yèyuè Guāng uttered a word indifferently, resounding throughout Konoha. At the same moment, the thumb clasped on the index finger joint suddenly popped out. The Thunder Giant at his feet also made the same move. At this moment, between heaven and earth, there is only this scene left. People who are stimulated by the shining thunder light can hardly open their eyes, and the violent thunder sound at the same time makes everyone cover their ears subconsciously. The violent lightning rays, coupled with the power of iron sand, seem to be unable to withstand the power of a super electromagnetic gun. Respond with cracks. Boom, 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 the continuous explosion sound, and the intense shining thunder light. While allowing most people to keep their eyes closed, they also firmly cover their ears. You can only imagine the destructive power of this trick, kings and kings, through the constantly trembling earth. This is they themselves don't know how long it has been. When Azuki Yuyan, who was standing next to Sarutobi Hiruzen, opened his eyes and looked forward through the eyes of the mask, he stretched out. Even through the mask, she can feel the shock in her heart. On the ground of Konoha, an invisible ditch appeared. No, maybe it is more appropriate to divide Konoha directly into 2, with a defile in the middle. On the other side of the gap, I looked straight and kept watching. Can't see the end. The pale freak white man was gone. But everyone can guess his ending. Didn't you die? That kid. In the end, it was Yèyuè Guāng who took the lead to speak, so that everyone with a blank brain came back to their senses. Chapter 90. Talk about it until that day you live. 5th. More seeking subscription. Yes. Take a breath. Kimimaro and others, who are in the same camp as Yèyuè Guāng, also gradually recovered their senses, raising their heads and shouting in response to Yèyuè Guāng on the top of the Thunder Giant's head. Yèyuè Guāng heard the words and let out a muddy breath. The tall Thunder Giant gradually spread. The thunderlight as the body slowly disappeared between heaven and earth. And the iron sand and dust covering the surface layer were also submerged in the gully created by the lightning, the super electromagnetic gun. But even so, it only fills up a drop in the bucket. With the disintegration of the Thunder Giant, it even disappeared completely. Yèyuè Guāng himself fell back to the ground. Yèyuè Guāng looked sideways at the long and huge ditch that was bare on both sides and with no end in sight in the middle. The economic losses caused will be counted on Cloud Shinobi first, and will be settled after the Chunin exam. Such words as Yèyuè Guāng are completely playing word games. After the Chunin exam, Konoha is still not his own? It's just a transfer of banknotes from one wallet to another. The economic damage caused by the trick just now to the prosperous area must be an astronomical figure. However, it should still be inferior to the damage caused by the future Heavenly Daopain's Super Shenluo Tianzheng. Under circumstances such as 663, Konoha could recover before the end of the Fourth Ninja World War. It can be seen how wealthy this village and even the whole country of fire is. Seeing a large number of Konoha shinobi people still looking at him with a dull face, Yèyuè Guāng raised his eyebrows and shouted. It's gone, the excitement is over, there's nothing to watch. Nothing good to watch? Fart, there are so many things. Not to mention that this battle caused Konoha's economic loss of excessive drying wine, which requires collective statistics and discussion. Yèyuè Guāng could not end with just one sentence. How to deal with the identities of these 2 weird-looking people in white, the eyeless teenager who was captured. These series of problems have not yet been resolved. However, because Yèyuè Guāng demonstrated just now the fierce strength that shattered their worldview into dregs, no one dared to refute it. Advertisement, Mr. Yèyuè Guāng. Finally, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the supreme leader of a village, finally arrived. This also made many Konoha shinobi around secretly relieved. Basically, no matter what, the existence of Hokage is the most reliable reliance of a village. Even if it is a Hokage with lowest burying his neck. I don't know who the specific identities of the two are, and the iron sand that Mr. Guāng just used. When Sarutobi Hiruzen mentioned the latter question, Udadane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura on the left and right behind him frowned subconsciously. The face full of wrinkles that can pinch mosquitoes to death also gave birth to a bit of fear. For fear that Yèyuè Guāng would kill them in a rage. This question, Sarutobi Hiruzen should not be asked in public. Because it is too sensitive, but the two can also understand him. After all, this is about the death of Sarutobi Hiruzen's son and daughter-in-law, and the death of his grandson who died tragically before he was born. I'm sorry, the battle just now made me too tired. What do you want to know about Hokage? Let's wait until Chunin takes the exam. After Yèyuè Guāng left a sentence, he motioned to Hinata, Kimimaro, and Bai to follow. He also brought the Otsutsuki Sharon who passed out from his injuries and passed out. Before leaving, I also added a sentence. The premise is that you can live until that day. Yèyuè Guāng did not give himself any face in such a large public. It made Sarutobi Hiruzen look white and blue. However, I recalled the scene where he was like a deity and killed the white-robed man with at least the peak of cage-level strength in one move. Sarutobi Hiruzen shuddered, and could only grieve the anger back into his stomach. Tolerate. This word can be said to run through Sarutobi Hiruzen's life. Although they are all external, internally, he has never tolerated it. Everyone, go back first. The heads of the various ethnic groups at the decision-making level, please go to the highest meeting room to discuss the restoration of the village. After barely calming his mind, Sarutobi Hiruzen said to the ninja patriarchs around him. Just when Hyuga Hinata, Inujiazo and other Konoha shinobi clan chiefs went to the administrative building one after another, Akamichi Dingza and Yamanaka Heiichi found that their good friend Nara hadn't moved for a long time. They couldn't help but walk up to pat his shoulder and asked, "What's the matter? Lu Ju, let's go." Advertisement. Hokage-sama suspects that the person who killed Shinosuke and Mrs. Rai and stole the Book of Seals 6 years ago was Yèyuè Guāng. Nara Luju whispered. Akamichi Dingza and Yamanaka Hai's expressions changed drastically. He quickly turned his head and looked around, and only after finding that there was no fourth person did he breathe a little. Stupid. Don't say such things in public. Yamanaka broke into a cold sweat. If it is heard by someone with a heart, the ghost knows what will happen. You don't have to worry about this. Nara Luju shook his head and smiled bitterly. Master Hokage is holding a meeting at this time to discuss whether rehabilitation is false. I am afraid it is true to discuss this matter. Akamichi Dingza and Yamanaka Hai face each other. A few seconds later, the middle-aged Inoshika Cho trio dragged a heavy step towards the administrative building. I just feel that the road ahead is not the road, but the darkness that can't be seen. In a room for candidates from other villages, called by Yèyuè Guāng, Orochimaru, disguised as a Tonin Jonin, looked at the Otsutsuki Sharon who was nailed to the wall by Kimimiro's bone spurs. After listening to Yèyuè Guāng's name of this kid, his eyebrows couldn't help but raise. Otsutsuki? It seems that this surname has been read in some ancient documents, but there are too few records. Stop gossip, I came here for two purposes. Yèyuè Guāng went straight into the Tao. First, where is the passage to pry out the moon from this kid's mouth? You should be very good at torturing. It shouldn't be a problem to deal with such a kid. Go to the moon? Even Orochimaru was confused by Yèyuè Guāng's request. Can this kind of thing be done? To the moon? How to get to? Fly up. The second is to study his cells. This is what you are good at, right? Yèyuè Guāng said again. If it is transplanted to Kimimaro, it may be able to cure his hemorrhagic disease. Chapter 91 Hinata is the most important, 6th more seeking subscription. Except for Konoha's destruction plan, Yèyuè Guāng actually didn't want to have much to do with Orochimaru. But in this matter, besides him, Yèyuè Guāng, the traveler, couldn't think of a more suitable candidate. On the moon where the pure-blood descendants of Otsutsuki Hamura lived, although the ghetto statue was gone by Uchiha Madara's summoning. But there should be a lot of interesting things left. Yèyuè Guāng intends to find out, don't do it for nothing. In the past, Yèyuè Guāng directly asked Uchiha Zongchen to come over and send Sharingan to finish. But this kid is born blind and can't be controlled with Sharingan illusion. And Orochimaru has been a dead pervert of the Grandmaster's human body research for decades, to pry out information from this kid who is only about 12 years old. There should be a way. Secondly, it is the hemorrhagic disease of Kun Ma Lu. Yèyuè Guāng also thought about using Hashirama cell transplantation, which is almost universal in the original work. Trying to save Kimimiro's condition. But thinking about this period of the original work, Orochimaru should have mastered Senju Hashirama's cell transplantation. Kimimaro is still dead. It may indicate that Hashirama cells are not effective against the hematology of dead bone pulse. That being the case, it is better to try cells from the Otsutsuki family. Judging from the moves of Otsutsuki Kagaya Haim, it is possible that the Yoruichi clan also inherited her blood. It's just not as perfect as Uchiha, Senju and other families. Otsutsuki's cells may have unexpected effects on dead bone pulse's hemorrhagic disease. To put it bluntly, Kimimaro is dying. Be a dead horse doctor. A pure blood descendant of Sage of Six Paths, the ancestor of chakra? I started to get excited. When Yèyuè Guāng explained that Otsutsuki is a purebred descendant of Sage of Six Paths, the blood of Orochimaru scientists began to boil. Habitually stretched out the head of the society to add a constant shield. Pry his mouth open first. Yèyuè Guāng estimated the survival time of the Otsutsuki Sharon. Kimimaro is really not serious when he started, so he should quickly pry out information for me before this kid dies. After speaking, Yèyuè Guāng turned and left the room. I also have a condition, can it? When Yèyuè Guāng turned around, Orochimaru suddenly said. The family of Sage of Six Paths is so exciting to me, can you give me the corpse? As long as you do the two things I asked for. Advertisement. Yèyuè Guāng turned his back. Just walking out of the hotel, Yèyuè Guāng found sisters Hinata and Hanabi waiting at the door. See the two sisters who are extremely similar in their facial features, but have completely different temperaments. Yèyuè Guāng also thought of a question. They are all descendants of Otsutsuki Hamura with the purest Byakugan. In the original work, the Otsutsuki Sharon boy can transplant Hanabi's eyes to awaken Tensigen. Then if Hinata and Sparks transplanted the cells of Otsutsuki Sharon like Uchiha Madara, who transplanted Hashirama cells, wouldn't it be okay? However, as soon as this thought came into being, Yèyuè Guāng threw this thought out of his mind. The main reason is that when Uchiha Madara and Shimura Danzo transplant Hashirama cells, they will look like Senju Hashirama's face. If such a beautiful sister spends her body G. Yèyuè Guāng expressed a little nausea. Eduo-sang, what's wrong? Seeing that Yèyuè Guāng's face was a little weird, Hinata, the little cotton padded jacket, immediately stepped forward and asked with concern. It's okay, Hinata is still beautiful, we don't care how strong it is. Yèyuè Guāng hugged Hinata into his arms and kissed her forehead with his chin. The current Hinata advanced cage level peak is a certainty. Even if it is not as pervert as the late prince in Second Pillar, it is enough. More importantly, you must never become like Uchiha Madara or Danzo. I have raised the cabbage for so many years, oh, Eduo-sang, it's too tight. Hinata flushed with a pretty face. Hyuga Hanabi. Yèyuè Guāng beckoned. Hanabi is very Jong-mu. Come, uncle hug. Slightly, Hanabi spit out, his right index finger pulled down under his right eyelid, and said with a grimace. Shameless, who wants you to hug? Ah. At this time, Otsutsuki's screams came from the room on the second floor. Hinata and Hanabi shivered on the spot. Hyuga Hanabi was surprised and said, What's wrong? Did something happen? Forget it, leave it alone, go, and take you 2D delicious. -0 seeking flowers. Yèyuè Guāng said, advertisement. As Yèyuè treat me? I happen to be hungry too, I want to eat fried bananas. Hyuga Hanabi was excited. Fried bananas? The name of this dish is not friendly to men. Do you like bananas? Yèyuè Guāng asked, looking sideways. Yeah, my favorite food is bananas and milk. Hanabi nodded cheerfully. Good guy, real or fake Konoha administration building, the highest conference room. A meeting is going on like a fire like tea. Unlike previous meetings, Jiraiya was forcibly pulled over. He didn't want to come, but learned that it was related to the tragic death of Sarutobi Shinosuke and Sarutobi Rise 6 years ago. Jiraiya considered it, and finally decided to come and listen. Danzo, who was dismissed by Sarutobi Hiruzen 6 years ago, sits in the corner of the conference room. Be the king, accept your fate. Sarutobi Asuma, who replaced the deceased Uchiha Fugaku police force captain, has not arrived. This was deliberately arranged by Sarutobi Hiruzen. He was afraid that Asuma would act impulsively after learning about it. In the meeting room, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not choose to conceal and went straight to the point. He suspected that Yèyuè Guāng was the real culprit who killed his son, daughter-in-law and unborn grandson 6 years ago, and stole the Book of Seal. As soon as this remark came out, there was no uproar at the scene. On the contrary, it was deathly silence. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked around, uncomfortable by the strange silence. Just as he was about to open his mouth to ask the patriarchs to say something, Hyuga Hinata suddenly said, Hokage-sama, what do you want? What do you mean, Heishi? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, and showed obvious dissatisfaction with the Hyuga people whose relationship with him has become worse in recent years. Literally, Hokage-sama, Hyuga Hinata still looks cold and indifferent. Do you want to send someone to assassinate Yèyuè Guāng? Or spray him to death with gossip? Or launch a war against Thunder Country? I heard Lord Jiraiya say that Cloud Shinobi currently has at least 6 cage levels, and you have to kiss him. Frontline? Again. Chapter 92 Lord Naruto, forget it, first more seeking subscription. Hyuga Hinata asked a series of death questions. Sarutobi Hiruzen also entered a state of silence. Yes, not to mention that the current attitude towards Yèyuè Guāng is just suspicion. There is no definite evidence, but when they saw Yèyuè Guāng's manipulation of iron sand, most of the patriarchs of the ninja clan had already associated it with the incident 6 years ago. Those who can sit in this conference room and talk are all people who have been in the Konoha political circle for decades. Think everyone is Uchiha Shisui's silly white sweetness? Everyone is very clear in their hearts. Not to mention suspicion, even if it is real, what can be done? Tell him to pay off with his fate? Nonsense. The most direct and effective way is to launch a war. However, look at the current gap between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi. Do you dare to start a war? As for going to the front line? Which dear friend recalled how many years ago was the last time the elder 663 Tien Tuan F4 went to the front line? By that time, Konoha's army was afraid that he had not reached the border of Thunder Country. The three villages of Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and Mist Shinobi cannot sit still. Who told you the Land of Fire to occupy the most fertile piece of land in the ninja world? Not to mention the trick that Yèyuè Guāng revealed today. Who in Konoha would dare to say that he took it down? Master Naruto, at this time, Naruluju, Konoha's #1 think tank, finally spoke, and said to Sarutobi Hiruzen with his eyes with a little pity in the suspended request. Forget it. Forget it. These three words contain too many profound meanings. What can you do with Yèyuè Guāng, or what can you do with Cloud Shinobi? Do you dare to go to war? People might be eager for you to go to war. There is a reason to hit you. Weak countries have no diplomacy. Weakness is sin. This is the truth of this cruel world. Since you are weak, even if your family members are killed, you can only swallow this breath in your stomach. Advertisement Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was blue and red, and his hands full of veins almost squeezed the cigarette stick. And the other three members of the elders group who are accustomed to the power in their hands every day. At the moment, the same thing was not said. No way, they usually have to be tough on their own people. When encountering the hard outside, one is softer than the other. Master Naruto, it's not good. At this moment, Yèyuè Shiin suddenly appeared and said anxiously. Ah, Asuma, Mr. Asuma and Yèyuè Guāng are in conflict. What? Sarutobi Hiruzen jumped up from his seat with a pop. The face of the many ninja clan chiefs present couldn't help but change in shock. Hyuga Hinata thought to himself, it seems that our Hokage-sama will be the last. Set the time back to 1.5 hours ago. When Hanabi was halfway through the fried bananas, Orochimaru asked Kimimaro to send a letter saying that he had pried the way to the moon from the mouth of Otsutsuki Sharon. Let Hanabi return to the Hyuga clan by himself. After Yèyuè Guāng and Hinata returned to the inn, they found the dead body of Otsutsuki Sharon who was nailed to the wall. Orochimaru also relayed the answer to Yèyuè Guāng. 60 kilometers northwest of the border of the Country of Fire, is it in the water curtain cave behind the big waterfall? Yèyuè Guāng said to himself. There are still more than 10 days before the Chunin exam finals, which is the Konoha destruction plan launched. That's enough. Kimimaro stayed here waiting for the cell transplantation. Bai continued to monitor Konoha's movements and was ready to send a message to Wooden Golem and the others at any time. Hinata came with me. Yèyuè Guāng gave the order to the trio. Yes, the three responded in unison. Hinata followed Yèyuè Guāng all the way to the entrance of Konoha, ready to go to the moon according to the address given by Otsutsuki before his death. Your Excellency, do you want to go out? At this moment, a middle-aged man dressed in luxurious silk clothes with a gay tone came up with his wine. It's Mr. Daimyo from the country of the river, it's been a long time since I saw you. Yèyuè Guāng responded with a chuckle. Even if Yèyuè Guāng is in a high position, even if he doesn't want to, he often has to get to know some powerful people. They are all the main clients of the high-level missions in Shinobu Village. Another adjective is Party A, or Golden Master. After the name of the river country, many powerful figures who passed by came up to talk to Yèyuè Guāng. Obviously, the Thunder Giant shown today has brought them too strong awe. Before the change, even the strongest ninja, in the eyes of these upstarts, was nothing but a mercenary, or Party B, type of existence. Advertisement, but after today, they would never dare to treat Yèyuè Guāng like that. 0. What if you have more money? Someone is upset. Let me show you today's big move that destroys several mountains with one move. Let you take your money to bribe Yèyuè Guāng. Just when Yèyuè Guāng was annoyed by this group of upstarts who smelled of copper. The sudden roar frightened these powerful figures. Turning his head to look, the daimyo of the river country frowned and said. That person, he seems to be the son of 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Asuma, right? Yes, he is still one of the 12 guardian ninjas under the command of Da Ming. A rich man in the country of fire nodded. Just as Asuma rushed towards this side angrily, Kakashi and Might Guy dragged him from behind, trying to stop Asuma from advancing. To be honest, Kakashi wanted to stun him, but in fact, I did this once a few hours ago. It's useless. You can't fight for a lifetime, right? When Asuma walked to a position less than 10 meters away from Yèyuè Guāng, suddenly raised his right hand and pointed towards the other party, shouting angrily. Did you kill my elder brother and sister-in-law? Asuma. Kakashi couldn't stop it, and the Might Guy next to him was helpless. No way, I can't persuade you. Asuma asked with this anger. The scene was full of splendor. The death of Sarutobi Rai and Mrs. Sarutobi Shinosuke 6 years ago was a big news that shocked the ninja world. Ki 2.3 Yi and Sand Shinobi also almost broke out the Fourth Ninja War. And today, Asuma actually brought up the old things again, and pointed the finger at Yèyuè Guāng, who just showed off today like a god. For a time, those powerful figures didn't even bother to indulge in Yèyuè Guāng, and took 2 steps back and expressed that they did not want to get involved in this troublesome matter. No, Yèyuè Guāng said without hesitation. At this time, more and more civilians and ninjas were heard gathering. The girlfriends Yurihong and Mitarashi Anko, who were originally shopping together, and several Xiaoqiang also rushed over. Nonsense, Asuma furiously said. Iron sand was left on the scene at the time, and the iron sand technique you used today is the best evidence. Lousy just left iron sand, it was Hyuga Hinata who killed your brother-in-law. Yèyuè Guāng thought silently. Chapter 93. Even if I killed it, how can you drop it? Second, more seeking subscription. At this time, Naruto, who had practiced summoning technique by the lake outside the village, was also attracted back. What's the situation? Mr. Kakashi. Naruto first set his sights on Asuma and Yèyuè Guāng, who were the perpetrators. But after he couldn't understand a word, he blinked his eyes and asked Kakashi again. Children don't ask so much, go back to practice. Kakashi expressed a headache. Naruto suddenly squinted his eyes unconvinced, and said displeased. You said the same when we asked you last time, stingy. Kakashi rubbed his temples helplessly. What can he do? There is too much black history that Konoha can't say. And facing the inquiries of Inujaya, Kurama Yakumo and other students, Yurihong also had a headache. How to explain this? At the same time, they also secretly looked at Yèyuè Guāng, wanting to hear how the other party would answer. Okay, don't make trouble. As the crowd onlookers increased, Yèyuè Guāng waved Asuma to calm down. His attitude seemed to comfort a 3-year-old kid who was making noisy when he couldn't get sugar. Let's take a step back. No, take 10,000 steps and say. Yèyuè Guāng spread his hands. 10 gestured helplessly. Even if I killed it, how can you drop it? As soon as this answer came out, the onlookers around suddenly stared out in shock. The Xiaoqiangs who have not experienced political darkness are even more stunned by Lei. Good boy, is it so rampant? You, Sarutobi Asuma's eyes stared like a cow, but he couldn't find words to refute for a while. Do you want me to avenge? Singled out? Or let your Naruto dad start a war? Although pretending to be compelling is the instinctive desire of human beings, Yèyuè Guāng said that using Asuma to pretend to be compelling is really not a sense of accomplishment. His face was irritated and said, that's okay, it doesn't matter if you press the front or make a surprise attack. We are waiting for you to come, but don't bother me before that, I have something to do. Advertisement. After listening to Yèyuè Guāng's answer, the already stupid Yamanaka Ino pulled the corner of Shirihong's clothes, and asked with fear in his eyes. Red, Teacher Red, are we going to fight Cloud Shinobi? Next to him, Akamichi Choji, Kurama Yakumo, and the domineering Nagaya, all showed panic on their faces. Don't look at the attitude of some little ghosts who are like a big boss and a second child. When they really go on the battlefield, their pants are scared to pee. Especially this generation of Xiaoqiang who grew up in a peaceful environment. Except for the prince and the second pillar, who had experienced extreme darkness in their childhood, none of them mentioned that war can remain calm. Master Naruto is here. At this moment, someone in the crowd yelled. The crowd on the right side gave way. Headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen, he led Anbu and many Konoha shinobi patriarchs. Dad? Nara Shikamaru and Yamanaka Ino subconsciously whispered when they saw their parents following Sarutobi Hiruzen. Master Naruto is coming to support the field, Tenten guessed. After all, Asuma, the son of Naruto, was criticized by Yèyuè Guāng just now. In her opinion, Third Hokage must have come to support her son. Oh, just right, your father with the greatest capital is here. Yèyuè Guāng glanced at Asuma, then turned to Sarutobi Hiruzen and said. Hokage-sama, you are here at the right time. I was discussing with Linglang just now whether this issue should be resolved by heads up or by war. I don't care, but I still hope to wait until the Chunin exam is over before doing it. Yèyuè Guāng said lazily. War is a major event related to the life and death of a country, and it is as casual as buying food at the vegetable market. B************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* watching. Although it was a Hokage with Lois buried in his neck, it was still quite powerful for a kid like them. Just when Naruto and they both thought that third Hokage was cursing Yèyuè Guāng. But Sarutobi Hiruzen walked up 3 or 2 steps, slapped Asuma's face with a slap. Snapped. A crisp applause echoed in front of Konoha's main entrance. Advertisement. Not only Asuma, the surrounding Xiaoqiang and even many genin who have no political experience, were also forced by Sarutobi Hiruzen's slap. What's going on? Your son was so badly bullied by others, Laozi came and beat his son. And Asuma, naturally not to mention, covering his left face that was beaten, and after a few seconds, he roared furiously. What crime did I commit? Why are you hitting me? In front of so many people, including my sweetheart, Shirihong, he slapped his father abruptly. Asuma just felt that she couldn't stay in Konoha. Puff. Yèyuè Guāng couldn't hold back a squirting smile. I'm afraid that Sarutobi Hiruzen will reply. You are greedy for her body. You slander the leaders of the allies, just slap you in the face is considered light. Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded with a beard and staring, then turned around and apologized to Yèyuè Guāng. Under Kokaku 663, my son is not a weapon. What he did just now was drunk and chaotic. Please don't take those words to heart. Konoha and Cloud Shinobi are still in a friendly alliance. Old man. What are you crazy? Big brother, sister-in-law and Konohamaru's hatred, have you forgotten? Sarutobi Hiruzen's words immediately caused the Asuma volcano to erupt completely, and he wanted to rush up and twist his lousy collar to question. Asuma. Calm down. Might Guy rushed up to clasp Asuma's hands. The outer Yurihong also shook her head secretly. Haven't you realized why Third Hokage swallowed his breath? Ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Facing Sarutobi Hiruzen, who apologized to him, Yèyuè Guāng first laughed, and finally turned into a belly laugh. It didn't stop until I laughed and bent over. This laughter, like a sharp knife, pierced the hearts of countless Konoha shinobi. Unlike Asuma, they can understand the reasons for Sarutobi's daily tolerance. After laughing for a few minutes, Yèyuè Guāng straightened up again and wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. Yes, Naruto-sama is right, Konoha and Cloud Shinobi are indeed allies. But not Konoha you led. Yèyuè Guāng finally added a sentence in his heart. Chapter 94. He is just a 30-year-old child, third more seeking subscription. In the end, all Konoha's staff could only see Yèyuè Guāng walking out of the village with Hinata swaggeringly. Dad, why does Naruto-sama want to beat Asuma-sensei? Yamanaka Ino secretly pulled at the corner of his father Yamanaka Kaiichi's clothes and asked in a low voice. This is also something that many onlookers Xiaoqiang can't understand. How did you think that Cloud Shinobi named Yèyuè Guāng was bullying Mr. Asuma, right? After the arrival of Third Hokage as his father, why not only didn't support his son, but slapped him instead? You don't need to know this. Yamanaka Kaiichi smiled reluctantly and rubbed his daughter's head. Children should be more innocent, and it is better not to understand this dark political struggle. If Gango Third Hokage doesn't give Asuma a slap, it really turns into Asuma to find Yèyuè Guāng for revenge. It even evolved into a war between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi, and the consequences were really beyond control. After a while, Sarutobi Hiruzen alienated the people watching the excitement at the gate. After returning to the meeting room exhausted physically and mentally, Naruto suddenly spoke. Master Naruto is wise. Just listen to Naruto continuing. Successfully suppressed the situation from getting worse, and avoided the head-on conflict between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi, the two major shinobi villages, all for Konoha. This is all for Konoha. This is what Sarutobi Hiruzen and the other three members of the elders like most. Now they heard it so harsh. Hyuga Hinata interface. Yes, for Konoha, Hokage-sama should give up hatred, right? It's all for Konoha, isn't it? Damn it, how does this feel more like a mockery? Other ninja clan chiefs secretly said in their hearts, secretly looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen, for fear that he would get angry. If it is normal, Sarutobi Hiruzen will definitely remember Hyuga Hinata's name on the black book even if he doesn't get angry on the surface. But now, he almost lost the strength to get angry. It is impossible to give up revenge for his son and daughter-in-law, at least during his lifetime. Such a sense of desolation made Sarutobi Hiruzen only feel that he was a teenager and his half-bald hair turned gray again. Hokage-sama, it's not good. At this time, Shirihong broke into the meeting room and reported in horror. Advertisement, Asuma wounded the goalkeeper ninja and was similar to a wahi, run out of the village. Just now, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had a desolate expression of kidney deficiency, jumped up from his seat in shock when he heard the words, and said unbelievably. What the hell is that kid? He doesn't mean to assassinate Yèyuè Guāng. Inu Jaw Claw guessed. Many patriarchs at the scene looked at each other and couldn't help but recall the thunder giant summoned by Yèyuè Guāng, who looked like a ghost and god. Asuma is going to assassinate him. Sarutobi Hiruzen was even more scared and prepared to order Anbu to chase people quickly. But at this time, Shirihong said again, yes, it should not be. He took his luggage before he left. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. Those who want to assassinate can't take their luggage, right? He should be back to the big-name mansion, Sarutobi Hiruzen speculated. In the past, Asuma was one of the 12 guardian ninjas under the command of the Fire Country daimyo. Now that he leaves Konoha, the only place he can go is there. Sarutobi Hiruzen scratched his head with a headache, and guessed that his slap just now must have stimulated him too deeply. However, that is no alternative. You all go down and leave me alone. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat down and let out a long breath. The chiefs of the clan looked at each other and stepped back and forth after a few seconds. Seeking truth from facts, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not forcefully launch a war with Cloud Shinobi to avenge his son and daughter-in-law, which also proves that Senju Tobirama had a little bit of vision in the election. At least the heir he picked was not completely useless. But it is a pity that if Senju Tobirama, who is also a political master, is not concealed, then his disciple is, does not conceal one's flaws. Although it's not useless, that little merit can make up for the fact that Senju Tobirama left him the king's game forcibly into bronze. How is it? Master Naruto said to solve Asuma's things like this. Seeing Yurihong coming out of the administration building, Might Guy rushed up to ask. Kakashi also walked up when he saw this advertisement. Said he is back to the famous mansion in all likelihood, let us leave it alone and let him go. Hearing Yurihong's answer, Kakashi sighed. That slap hit him too much, understandable. What can you understand? People who are almost 30 years old, still so immature, 30-year-old child. Ta Rihong was speechless. 30 years old, unknowingly, we are also this age. Kakashi sighed, and suddenly changed his tone to teasing. Red, aren't you? I'm almost 30 years old and have no target? Screw you. Ta Rihong's forehead blew veins violently, he wanted to punch this dead fisheye. Don't like him. After a brief silence, Kakashi said nonchalantly. Who? Might Guy looked confused. Roll. Ta Rihong let out a roar in anger. Obviously, she guessed who Kakashi was talking about. On the moon, in the palace for the descendants of Otsutsuki Hamura who moved here thousands of years ago. In accordance with the address provided by Orochimaru from Otsutsuki Sharon before his death. Yèyuè Guāng took Hinata all the way to find here. In the water curtain cave behind the waterfall, Wang Wanghao, as high as 100 meters high. Hidden Otsutsuki Hamura uses spacetime ninjutsu to create a spacetime passage leading to the moon. Inside the Buddhist scripture pavilion of Otsutsuki Palace. According to the ancient book, thousands of years ago, Otsutsuki Hamura and his elder brother Sage of Six Paths sealed his mother Kagaya-ji, and brought the descendants of the pure blood to the moon, guarding the enclosure of 10 tails, Geto, statue. Hinata kept his eyes on Byakugan, flipping through the ancient books remaining here and muttering to himself, then turned his head and said to Yèyuè Guāng. The descendants of non-pure blood stayed in the world that my brother created, which is Hyuga. Just like the text left in the basement of Uchiha Nanga Shrine that can only be read by Sharingan, the text on this is also unique to the Otsutsuki family and can only be read by Byakugan. Yèyuè Guāng stood behind Hinata and looked at the text on the ancient book. He just couldn't understand any of them. Chapter 95 Professional Delivery, Otsutsuki Brothers, 4th More Seeking Subscription. Buzzing, giant spheres glowing with golden light filled the room. Open black lens bracket Hamura Shrine close black lens bracket. This is what Hinata learned by reading the text on the plaque outside the room by Byakugan. According to the records of the Tibetan scripture pavilion in the palace, this is the descendant of the Hamura branch house on the moon after the war, to commemorate the ancestors. The artificial tensigen is made by injecting chakra into it. The resulting power can even generate gravitational and repulsive forces to propel the moon. The branch house's plan to destroy the earth is to use the power of this man-made tensigen. Run the moon to hit the earth to complete. Yèyuè Guāng means that the people of this race are really sick. By the way, wouldn't the dinosaurs in previous lives be extinct in this way? Everything that should be taken is already in hand, and there is no need to stay in this horrible place anymore. Yèyuè Guāng said with a bamboo slip of righteous indignation in his hand. This is an ancient scroll that records the real gentle fist practice created by the Otsutsuki family Hamura. Previously, Otsutsuki had used yin and yang, revolving heaven, which was stronger than revolving heaven, and God airstrike, which was stronger than 8 trigrams gentle fist. All were created by Otsutsuki Hamura, the ancestor of the Hyuga clan. Although it doesn't make much sense to Yèyuè Guāng himself. But it is enough to make Hinata into the ranks of Super Cage level. The receipt is not too big, but 667 is not too small. Oh Duosang, this eye seems to be calling me. Just when Yèyuè Guāng was about to pack his things and leave, Hinata suddenly lightly enlightened Yumiadao. Yèyuè Guāng raised his eyebrows and looked at it. However, Hinata's hand was gently placed on the huge artificial tensigen in front of him. For a moment, Hinata only felt that everything in his eyes was spinning around, and the endless white color filled his visual world. But in a flash, the picture became clear. Hinata looked forward again and found that he was already in front of a barren graveyard. On the opposite side, there are countless people from the Otsutsuki tribe with pale skin and white robes like the Otsutsuki Ririn and the Otsutsuki Sharon. The child who inherited the blood of the old man, the child who prevented the destruction of the elder brother's world, have you finally come here? Advertisement. An old man with gray hair and white skin and wrinkles just like an undead walked up and said to Hinata. Just when the old man appeared, the undead of the Otsutsuki family behind them all knelt down. You are, Hinata was puzzled. My name Otsutsuki Hamura. The old man's feet remained motionless, and in a floating form, the old man who moved to Hinata responded. Hinata was shocked, and said in disbelief. Oh, Otsutsuki Hamura, the one in the ancient book you should have been there for thousands of years. This is the technique of the Otsutsuki clan. Children can keep chakra before death. When certain conditions are met, they can reappear in such a chakra spiritual form. Otsutsuki Hamura explained. My brother and I used this technique before we died. I left chakra in this shrine, and my brother lodged the last chakra with his 2 children, Indra and Ashura. There is actually this kind of technique? Hinata's embarrassed eyes widened. After a while, Hinata nibbled on his own drain with her teeth, calmed herself down quickly, and asked. Did you draw me to touch that artificial eye? What can you do? The moment you touched the man-made tensigen, the old man saw through your eyes the ending of the last 2 descendants of the old man on the moon, Liren and Sharon. Otsutsuki Hamura sighed. Yes, I'm sorry. Hinata quickly bowed and apologized. Plug in. Picture, hey, you don't need to apologize, it's not your fault, and they want to ruin the things that their brothers created, change to be an old man, and try their best to stop them. Otsutsuki Hamura's old face, older than Sarutobi Hiruzen, barely smiled, and then said. Moreover, the current old man does not, basically, have a body, so he can do nothing but read your memory. You're called Hinata, right? I called you in, and there is one more thing I want to tell you. It's about the old man and the elder brother, sealing the mother. Immediately, Otsutsuki Hamura was like the sage of six paths that explained the history to Naruto in the original book. He and Otsutsuki Hagoromo were used as filial sons to seal his mother and told Hinata. When looking at Hinata's expression on the willow eyebrows, Otsutsuki Hamura couldn't help asking. Hinata, you seem to be puzzled. Why is it necessary to adopt a sealing method? It is obviously a relative. Can't we solve the problem in a more gentle way? Hinata couldn't bear to say. Oh, it makes sense, but maybe it's because at that time, whether it was me, my brother or my mother, I only believed in my own power. Advertisement Otsutsuki Hamura shook his head and smiled bitterly. He didn't know if he was regretting his act of filial piety. Excuse me, Grandpa Hamura, I'm leaving now. Odosan is still waiting for me outside. Hinata bowed his head again and saluted. Wait a minute. Otsutsuki Hamura raised his hand to stop and then said. Thousands of years have passed since the death of the old man, and this strand of chakra that remains in the world has basically reached its limit. You are a gentle child. Before I leave, give you a present. Otsutsuki Hamura put his hands together to form a seal and said with a heart and soul. The old man has only one request. Please protect the world created by your brother. Hinata. Suddenly, Yèyuè Guāng's voice echoed in his ears. Hinata suddenly came back, frowning and looking at her Yèyuè Guāng face with concern, replacing Otsutsuki Hamura's wrinkled old face. Eduo-sang, what did I just now? I still want to ask you what's wrong, so I closed my eyes and didn't say anything, Suddenly, Yèyuè Guāng discovered that something was wrong with Hinata. He stretched out his hands and pressed them to the sides of Hinata's cheeks. Feeling the touch from Yèyuè Guāng's palm, Hinata's pretty face turned red. After a few seconds, he slowly closed his eyes. It seemed that he slightly pursed his mouth. Yèyuè Guāng. What is this Neji thinking? If you are less than 13 years old, what if you do? Can this book still survive? There was a knock on her little head, neither light nor heavy. Painful Hinata opened her eyes again aggrieved. It is different from the flawless Byakugan like white pearls before. Around the pure white focal point, mysterious blue ripples spread. No way, is this Tensigen? Chapter 96,000 miles to give head Asuma, 5th more seeking subscription. On the way back from the moon to the land of fire. Hinata lowered her head all the way, touched her artificial Tensigen, and encountered Otsutsuki Hamura in the same mysterious time and space as the illusion. 1 to 5 to 10 notice to Yèyuè Guāng. On the way, I didn't dare to look up at Moonlight's gaze. I remembered that Yèyuè Guāng held his cheek, and then he closed his eyes and pouted. Hinata was so ashamed to find a hole to get in. Professional delivery, these two brothers. After listening to Hinata's description, Yèyuè Guāng couldn't help but sigh. In the latter part of the Fourth Ninja War in the original book, Sage of Six Paths appeared for the prince to open the door to the two pillars. The strength of the two was increased from Super Shadow Burst to 6 paths level in one go. Damn it, Uchiha Madara, who has taken decades, is about to cry, okay. But this also explains why Sage of Six Paths, who has been dead for thousands of years, can suddenly cheat the corpse and send Naruto Sasuke thousands of miles away. However, it is a pity that Yèyuè Guāng failed to bring Hanabi. After all, that girl also has the purest Byakugan. Otherwise, wouldn't it be possible to get 2 pairs of Tensigen? Forget it, one can't be too greedy. Hey, suddenly, a birdsong came. Yèyuè Guāng looked up and saw a crimson blood dove swooping towards him. That's Sister Quan's. Hinata also looked up, and said when he saw the dovebird flying down. That is the summoning beast of Uchiha Spring. Uchiha's summoning beast is a bird. Uchiha Shisui, the crow of Uchiha Itachi. The future Uchiha Sasuke's eagle. And Uchiha Spring is a dove. The blood dove stopped on Yèyuè Guāng's wrist, and a secret letter was tied to the base of its leg. This father and son are really superb. When Yèyuè Guāng read the secret letter sent by Uchiha Quan, he couldn't help but sigh again. Eduo-sang. Hinata tilted her head cutely and looked puzzled. Let Quan and the others bring people over. Advertisement. Yèyuè Guāng said to summoning. With a loud cry, the blood dove greeted the sky again and flew towards the northeast. A few hours later, Cloud Shinobi Anbu Captain Yi Kang, and Cyclops Captain Uchiha Quan, rushed to meet Yèyuè Guāng. She, who was wearing a black blindfold in her left eye, was also followed by several subordinates, escorting one person to Yèyuè Guāng. Not only she, but the men behind him are all Cyclops with blindfolds on their left or right eyes. Puff. With a loud bang, Asuma, who was tied up by the rope, was kicked in front of Yèyuè Guāng by she who suppressed him from behind. Yèyuè Guāng. Seeing Yèyuè Guāng sitting in front of him, Asuma was tied up regardless of his hands. Roaring rushed up, wanting to fight to the death with the opponent. Be honest. She from the back kicked again on Asuma's back foot. Let him fall a second time to eat shit. Yèyuè Guāng looked at Konoha's forehead protector and disappeared. His face was scarred and muddy. Asuma didn't know what expression to put on. After all, in the face of a strange flower, it is really difficult for you to make the right response. Who of you explained this situation to me? Yèyuè Guāng asked Yi Kang and others. When we were lurking outside Konoha village, we found Everbright that you took Hinata and left shortly after he followed him. Uchiha Quan explained. We thought he wanted to assassinate you, so we took him down. Because it's Hokage's son, so I didn't kill it, just keep it and wait for your instructions. Greek interface said. Uchiha Kwan immediately scratched his head again, embarrassed. I used Sharingan's illusion to ask, and it turned out that he was not going to assassinate you, but was going to Da Ming to misunderstand him, but he couldn't let him go. What should I do now? He assassinated me? Yèyuè Guāng put on the face of Metro Grandpa? What kind of confusing behavior is this? Yèyuè Guāng, what do you want? Asuma, who was restrained by Zai's grabbing hand, raised her head unwillingly, gritted her teeth and roared. Being captured by Uchiha Kwan and others, it shocked him too much. He couldn't think of it. Besides Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke, there are Uchiha clan people who survived. And so many Cloud Shinobi ninjas are already lurking in such a close place around Konoha. Advertisement -0 seeking flowers. If these people take advantage of the chaos to attack Konoha. Asuma couldn't imagine how Konoha would end up. Spray. Yèyuè Guāng directly picked up a stone from his feet and put it into Asuma's mouth to shut him up. It seems to have knocked out a few teeth, but it's nothing. Do you want to kill? Asked Yi Kang, who was wearing an Anbu mask. Yèyuè Guāng closed his eyes and thought for a moment, then decided. Look at him first. On the day of the finals, write a letter in my name to the daimyo of the country of fire, and let the beard send it over. Isn't he going there just right? He can't agree, right? Uchiha Kwan blinked Kazilan's eyes in confusion. Bang! Yèyuè Guāng knocked her out of anger. Not very clever, don't you have Sharingan? Hey, sorry, I accidentally forgot. Uchiha Izumi scratched his head embarrassedly. Yèyuè Guāng is speechless. I am afraid that the IQ of this girl's future children will not be affected, right? Right what? Yi Kang, who has a vigorous and resolute working style, took out a pen and paper and asked Yèyuè Guāng. Just as the daimyo of the country of fire said that Konoha had already belonged to me at that time, and the Sarutobi clan would be wiped out. The way he handled Asuma, the last survivor of this clan, was equivalent to his attitude. Yèyuè Guāng wrote lightly. Ming. 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 Hearing this, Asuma, who was pressed on the ground, howled like a boar. Because his mouth was stuffed with stones, no matter whether he cursed or begged for mercy, Yèyuè Guāng could not hear him. In a month's time, changing to an ordinary ninja, it is absolutely impossible to grow much. But Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke of the Wall Duo are another matter. A master summoning technique and initial learning to use Nine Tails chakra. A master took the top lightning style ninjutsu Chidori in Naruto World. And now, there is still an existence that is even stronger than them. Yèyuè Hinata. Come back from the moon and know the 10 days before the start of the final. She has a new evolutionary route, practice Tensigen, again. Chapter 97 Konoha's Column of Shame, 6th more seeking subscription. Too many things happened this month. But even so, on the day of the finals, the atmosphere was still lively like the new year. Many nouveau riche or wealthy aristocrats have entered the martial arts field in the central area of Konoha one after another. Among them are the daimyo and others who tried to make friends with Yèyuè Guāng before. Looking out from the auditorium of the martial arts venue that is tens of meters high, you can still vaguely see it half a month ago. Yèyuè Guāng used the Thunder Giant to use the super electromagnetic cannon to split Konoha into two. Although in the past half a month, Sarutobi Hiruzen has continuously dispatched Earth-style ninjas to repair. But the depth of the gap is too exaggerated, it has not been filled for so long. In fact, it doesn't matter what the strength of the new generation is now. The daimyo Kawa no Kuni, who was sitting in the VIP seat of the auditorium, said with his eyes open. 667. As long as Cloud Shinobi has Yèyuè Guāng, it is undoubtedly the largest village in the shinobi world. At least in terms of military strength, this is undisputed. Next to him, another middle-aged man with a big golden chain and a nouveau riche hummed. It feels like Senju Hashirama back then. I once heard my father tell the legend of that man. Another lady said. By the way, is Konoha's new generation okay? It is said that only 2 of them made it to the finals. Sand Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi are both 3. Hear the conversations of these people in power and responsibility. The faces of Konoha Shinobi who were sitting not far away were all complicated. How long has Konoha been scorned with such contempt? Since when has the rest of the ninja world no longer regarded Konoha as the first ninja village? It was when these people were talking about it. The candidates who entered the final stepped into the central examination room below. Unlike the original, Uchiha Sasuke actually arrived normally. And Atonin's toss is the same as the original, missing. Konoha's director Jonin and Xiaoqiang sat on the left side of the auditorium. The first game was the battle between Sasuke and Naruto. Both of their opponents had shown overwhelming strength before. Ta Rihong sat in the auditorium and asked Kakashi who was standing on the steps sideways. Is it alright? Advertisement? Don't worry, both of them have been reborn in this month. Kakashi responded with a confident smile in his eyes. In the face of so many powers from various countries, he will not be fortunate enough to be named Uchiha. Suddenly, there was an uproar in the audience. It turned out that 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and 4th Kazekage Luosha were present at the same time. Although Cloud Shinobi is also Konoha's ally, it is a pity that I did not come. Welcome, Master Fengying. The 2 of them took their seats at the top seat of the auditorium, and Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled and greeted actively. I've traveled a long way and I'm tired all the way. It's nothing, but seeing as Naruto-sama is getting older and older, should I also consider Fifth Hokage's successor? Luosha asked something in the words. When the Nine Tails disaster happened, after the death of Namikaze Minato, Sarutobi Hiruzen chose himself as Fifth Hokage, which became the last straw for a complete break between their master and apprentice. Old man, I can work for a few more years. Sarutobi Hiruzen squinted with a smile. Hey, don't you want to give up power until you die? Luosha sneered inwardly and stopped talking. The new referee Shiranui Genma, who replaced the Moonlight Hurricane who had died in the hands of Baki, saw that Duz hadn't arrived, so he had to announce. No way, it's time to start, but he is also in a bye anyway. If he hasn't arrived after the first round, he can only be disqualified. The other candidates didn't have any comments on this, after all, they had nothing to do with toss. As Shiranui Genma announced that the exam officially began. Except for Hinata and Uchiha Sasuke, all candidates in the first round left the viewing platform. In the audience, countless people stared at Hinata's eyes and the flame fan logo behind Sasuke. In the first round, the heat of the atmosphere was raised to the extreme. Ta-Rihong. The first round was a duel between these two men. Might Guy. Jin Konoha's two strongest races feel like fate. On the night Uchiha perished, Jonin of them always felt a bit weird. But he dared not mention it. It's really amazing. Is the first round a duel of two big pupils? Hyuga vs Uchiha. Hyuga. Isn't the girl's last name Yèyuè, and she wears Cloud Shinobi's forehead protector. 0. Ha ha ha. Don't you know, 12 years ago, Yèyuè Guāng took a female chapter from Konoha. Advertisement. A child of the Hyuga clan, can Konoha allow him to take it away? I can't help it. At that time, Fourth Hokage just died, Konoha didn't dare to Cloud Shinobi just, although I don't think I dare to do it now. Many viewers are curious about the strength of Byakugan and Sharingan at the same time. I am also very curious that a girl with Byakugan will bear the surname of Yuzuki in 50 years and wear Cloud Shinobi's forehead protector. And I heard a lot of discussions from people outside the village. Konoha's face was getting worse and worse. This is definitely a big scandal that can be loaded on the shame of Konoha's history. Father, it's been 12 years, Konoha still doesn't have the strength to compete with Cloud Shinobi? On the other side of the auditorium, Hyuga Neji, who knew the truth about why Hinata was taken to Cloud Shinobi Village, asked Hyuga Hizashi next to him. Konoha is weaker than that time, Hyuga Hizashi said bitterly. Originally turned out to be 2 days of Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi. One committed suicide and one defected. Let Konoha be on the road to rise. On the other hand, Cloud Shinobi is getting stronger. In the middle of the field, although I haven't seen Hinata versus Hyuga Neji in the battle tower before. But Uchiha Sasuke still learned from Kakashi how terrifying the 2.3 seemingly weak girl is. But even so, Uchiha Arzu, who pretends to be a master of escape, is still very confident. This month, he has been reborn. The first round, Yèyuè Hinata vs Uchiha Sasuke, start. Shiranui Genma waved his hand to indicate the moment when the game started. Urzuzi didn't have the slightest idea of a lady's priority, and instantly turned into an afterimage and rushed up. Just at this moment, many people discovered his growth. The speed is comparable to Rock Lee unloading the load. The moment Uchiha Sasuke rushed in front of Hinata, Uchiha Sasuke pulled out kunai, as if directly piercing her throat. God, Luo Tien Zheng. In the next instant, Hinata Zuju moved lightly, faintly raising these 4 words. Chapter 98 Hinata will become a shadow, first more seeking subscription. Boom. For a moment, Uchiha Sasuke, who had less than 10 centimeters of Hinata's throat in his hand, only felt a shockwave like an overwhelming rush, rushing from his front. Before he could think of anything, it was like being slapped flying by an invisible big hand. It flew upside down and hit the wall of the arena dozens of meters later. Sasuke, are you okay? Naruto in the upper viewing platform held the railing with both hands, and shouted to Uchiha Sasuke, who fell to the ground below. However, it was not only Uchiha Sasuke who was photographed flying. Shiranui Genma, standing at the left rear of Hinata, was also hit by the terrifying mountain. Although he didn't know how embarrassed he was like Uchiha Sasuke, he also stepped back more than 10 meters. What was it just now? It's not lightning style or gentle fist method. Hyuga Neji was incredible. It's completely different from the style of fighting with yourself in the previous battle tower. Hyuga Hizashi frowned and analyzed. That attack, 10 is 360. Genma was blown away too. Father, look. Hinata's sister's eyes. Hanabi suddenly let out a cry of exclamation, pointing downwards and shouting. It's not just members of the Hyuga family next to her. Countless people in the audience also found out. I don't know when Hinata's eyes started, they were no longer pure white Byakugan, but new eyes with pale blue ripples around the white pupils. For a time, the originally noisy stadium fell into silence. Gang, what was that just now? Uchiha's kid was beaten to fly. I didn't see the little girl doing it. What's wrong with her eyes? Isn't it Byakugan? What is going on? The atmosphere fell into a brief silence, and then a more fanatical sensation broke out. The unsolved things are always the most interesting. Let alone a brand new ninjutsu. Does it mean that Byakugan also has the possibility of evolution? Kakashi subconsciously held on to Sharingan, who was covered by the forehead protector, and thought secretly. As the owner of Mangekyo Sharingan, he knows that Sharingan can evolve. If Byakugan, who is on a par with Sharingan, also has the ability to evolve, it is not surprising. I didn't expect that Byakugan could also evolve. Advertisement, Rosa. No, Orochimaru, a scientific madman, can no longer contain his excitement, and his tone is even a little trembling. I once heard that Sharingan can evolve, but I didn't expect that Byakugan can also. Then, this child should be the first person in Hyuga history. Unfortunately, she is now a member of Cloud Shinobi. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a dark face. Such a genius could not be used by Konoha. What a pity, hateful, Hinata, it will become a shadow. At this moment, a low volume, but unusually clear sound came into the ears of all the people in the audience. Everyone turned their eyes to see, only to see that Yèyuè Guāng was actually there. Hinata on the field showed obvious joy. There was another thunderous uproar in the audience. Meaning, are you watching the battle of the next Raikage? This is really interesting, but Yèyuè Guāng doesn't plan to be Raikage himself. Does Everbright want to train her to become the next Raikage? It's incredible. Turning his head to look at Kakashi Road, hey. Yèyuè Guāng let out a chuckle, but did not act. I said let her do, shadow, but I didn't say it was, Raikage. Just when the audience was talking about it, Uchiha Sasuke has stood up again, and the two-go jade Sharingan in his eyes spins sharply, and he whispers. Since physical skills are not good, then, the next moment, he quickly formed seals with both hands and released a fireball with a diameter of more than 5 meters. It is the famous ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan, fire-style great fireball technique. I still can't use these eyes proficiently. Faced with the fireball rushing from howling, Hinata didn't change her face. Suddenly, thunder broke out all over the body, and with a flick of a knife, it shattered the great fireball fan into sparks like a fly. The pupils of Hyuga Neji in the audience shrank sharply, appeared. It's a trick to crack your own revolving heaven, lightning-style chakra mode. Be careful, Yèyuè Hinata has the lightning-style chakra armor and hell spur of Third Raikage, once known as the strongest Raikage. Advertisement Uchiha Sasuke recalled Kakashi's warning to him in his mind, and raised his eyebrows and secretly said. Is that lightning-style chakra armor? Fire-style doesn't seem to work. Seeing Hinata put his right hand and called the hand knife, Uchiha Sasuke thought of Kakashi's hint. As the number of hardened fingers decreases, the power will become stronger and stronger. That being the case, let's decide the outcome while she is still on 4 fingers. See whose lightning style is stronger. Thinking of this, Uchiha Sasuke retreated sharply and jumped directly onto the wall of the arena behind him. After continuous printing, the left hand condenses the lightning current like a bird's song. That is, the Konoha shinobi at the scene changed dramatically. Unexpectedly, Kakashi taught him that, Chidori? Hinata could see through it at a glance. 667 That is Cloud Shinobi Village. Many people have said that the outer village rarely penetrates the lightning-style technique of the lightning-style chakra armor. Try that, Hinata. Yèyuè Guāng smiled. The voice is not loud, but only from the expression, Hinata knows what the other person means. That one? Hinata opened his hands without hesitation. Once up and down, there was a gentle swing, she changed her trick. Uchiha Sasuke of lightning-style chakra thought in surprise, but then he wrinkled his brows and gritted his teeth. But I have no other choice, just use this trick to decide the outcome. Thinking of this, Uchiha Sasuke exploded with a speed that was unmatched by Chunin. In the accelerated state of lightning-style chakra stimulating the skin, I rushed down in the blink of an eye, rushing straight all the way. Hyuga Hizashi cried out in shock. Hinata's starting style, is it gentle fist? Hyuga Neji, who turned on Byakugan, shook his head repeatedly. No, father, the flow of chakra is completely wrong, it is stronger than that. The words are not finished. Hinata took a sudden step. Under a straight palm, the fist pressure on the surface of the skin condensed into the outline of a giant fist, swallowing up the lightning burst of Chidori, and pressing back toward Uchiha Sasuke. God Airstrike. Chapter 99 When will God not let Konoha be green? Second more seeking subscription. God Airstrike. When Hinata's palm swallowed the thunder of Uchiha Sasuke Chidori, and slapped his abdomen with a straight palm. Even ordinary people who are not ninjas at the scene can clearly see Uchiha Sasuke's translucent giant fist flying out behind him. It was almost like a fist that had grown out of thin air to grab Susanoo and penetrated the body of the second pillar. Accompanied by a terrifying airwave, it hit the wall tens of meters high at the rear. Suddenly, the entire venue shook violently. Strong gunpowder is overflowing. For about 10 seconds, behind Uchiha Sasuke, Hinata was directly opposite. At the same time, it is also under the viewing platform of Naruto's test preparation candidates. On the wall of the martial arts field, there is a huge palm print of more than 10 meters. This scene instantly reminded Yèyuè Guāng of the last famous scene of Zhou Xingxing in the previous life movie, Kung Fu, that attracted the palm of the Tathagata. Of course, currently Hinata can't play such an exaggerated effect, it's just a preliminary master. Is this also Hyuga's gentle fist method? Yes, is it so strong? Just kidding, I've never seen the Hyuga family's boxing skills so powerful. If the Hyuga family is so powerful, how can it be that it hasn't produced a Kage level in decades? Is that the true power of Byakugan evolution? After the shock, the out-of-control discussions continued to resound throughout the venue. Hyuga Hisshi, Hyuga Hizashi and others are very uncomfortable with these unfriendly remarks about the Hyuga family. But it cannot be refuted. For 60 years since Konoha established the village, Senju needless to say that the first 2 generations of Naruto are the existence of the ceiling of the ninja world. Uchiha also has talented figures such as Uchiha Kagami, Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Itachi and so on. Although these people did not end well in the end. Only Hyuga is in a particularly embarrassing situation. There hasn't been a cage level in 60 years. After Senju and Uchiha were exterminated one after another, Yamanaka reluctantly won the title of Konoha number. And right now, Yèyuè Hinata shows the potential. It makes them feel more complicated. Hyuga Hizashi has a bitter face, such a genius, but I am no longer a member of the Hyuga tribe. It's a pity, it's sad. Hyuga Hisshi shook his head. No, even if she is in my clan, I don't have the confidence to nurture her to that level. Above the main seat on the highest step of the auditorium, Luo Sha squinted his eyes, and the focus of his pupils moved towards Sarutobi Hiruzen on the left side. She can be said to be the 7th cage level of Cloud Shinobi Village, right? Advertisement Yèyuè Guāng, Fourth Raikage, Killer Bee. The 2 were led by Wooden Golem, Anbu Captain, Zhao, Terumi Mei. Based on Jiraiya's intelligence, Cloud Shinobi now owns these 6 cage levels. And Yèyuè Hinata, I am afraid that it is now 7th. Although Yèyuè Guāng may be counted as an exception, he is completely super cage level, and has to be compared with Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't respond, and his old face became the same color. Such a Cloud Shinobi, during his lifetime, can he still avenge his son and daughter-in-law? Uchiha Sasuke won't die, right? And remember Azuki Yuge who is guarding Sarutobi Hiruzen beside Sarutobi Hiruzen worried. No, not so much, Rosa smiled inwardly, the gift I gave him helped him escape. Kakashi with excellent eyesight, clearly see Uchiha Sasuke who hit Hinata's palm. From the back of the neck, there are a large number of black tadpole-like curse patterns spreading to the whole body rapidly. Wrong? Hinata in the center of the venue also embroidered eyebrows. At the moment, Uchiha Sasuke's speed suddenly skyrocketed by another level. In the final moment, the imperfect Shenkong hit his side waist. Looking at him again, his face was full of curse lines like black tadpoles. The facial features have also become more ferocious. Just as Urzuzi gritted his teeth and started the Chidori twice, preparing to fight back. Hinata's pupils twisted slightly, and lightning-style chakra broke out again. The burst of lightning swallowed the Chidori, Hellspike's 4 Kanshu. Teach him to be a man again. Cough, blood is spit out from the mouth. Uchiha Sasuke knelt on the ground with weak legs and finally fainted. Without learning the second form of curse and seal. It is a miracle to be able to block Hinata so many moves one after another. Ended. At this time, Kakashi also used the body flicker technique to flash into the rushing field, carrying Uchiha Sasuke on his back. Shiranui Shuenjian nodded in understanding, raised his hand and announced. Advertisement, winner, Yèyuè Hinata. Okay, amazing. That Hyuga? No, Yeyu's little girl. Yèyuè Guāng said that she will become the next Raikage. It does not seem to be empty talk. Uchiha's power is in vain in her new pair of Byakugan. Such a genius was taken away by Cloud Shinobi 12 years ago. Shish. This topic can't be said here. After Shiranui Genma announced the results, the atmosphere at the scene once again triggered a new round of enthusiasm. Did you discover the potential of that kid 12 years ago? Ta Rihong twisted her eyebrows and asked Yèyuè Guāng who was standing on the next steps. Although this is incredible. After all, when Yèyuè Guāng took Hinata away, the child was only 3 days old. What potential can be seen? But, this is a coincidence, right? Just grabbing a baby of the Hyuga family and walking, it is the potential cage level, even the sky above this. If it is not for Yèyuè Guāng's intentional actions, it can only be explained as his luck. Wang Zhao. I saved her. Yèyuè Guāng responded with a faint smile. Ta Rihong, Might Guy and the surrounding Xiaoqiang all looked puzzled. The genius is in Konoha, what can I do? When Yèyuè Guāng asked this sentence, the Xiaoqiangs were still clueless, but the Konoha Jonin who were present were all darkened. Now with Hinata, Cloud Shinobi Village has 7 cage level players. It makes people feel jealous. Why is jealousy god favoring Cloud Shinobi? But when will the sky not show Konoha? Didn't give Konoha a chance? Even if Senju Hashirama and Senju Toburama, the 2 ninja ceilings are gone. Has Konoha ever been a genius? From Hitaki Sakumo to Konoha Sanin. From Namikaze Minato to Uchiha Duo, when did Konoha lack genius and outstanding talent? The problem is that it's not useful to give you a chance, live. Chapter 100 The Battle Between the Fox and the Civet Cat, 3rd more seeking subscription. In the first round of the final, I saw the confrontation between Byakugan and Sharingan. Although before Hinata's overwhelming strength, Uchiha Sasuke's performance was really overshadowed. But at least not to pull the hips. Many viewers are looking forward to the next duel. The second round, Uzumaki Naruto vs Gaara, hurry down. Shiranui Genma looked sideways and shouted at the 2 people at the player's viewing platform. On that wall, there are still the marks of Hinata's mad blow just now. Gaara glanced at Naruto coldly, and then made a seal with one hand. The whole person is like elementalization and generally turned into sand, floating to the center of the arena. And Naruto was not convinced, and jumped directly from the viewing platform that was tens of meters high. Yèyuè Guāng said cheerfully, Fox vs. Civet Cat, interesting. Tanuki. Kakashi, who has placed Uchiha Sasuke, and Yurion next to him, Might Guy and Xiaoqiang heard Yèyuè Guāng's words. A little confused for a while. Naruto is Nine Tails Jinchuriki, and it is understandable that Yèyuè Guāng calls him that. But what does Civet Cat mean? However, Yèyuè Guāng did not explain, they would know immediately. At this time, Kurama Yakumo, who was sitting on the other side of Yurion, looked around, and 667 secretly said inwardly. I feel so unknowingly, there are many more people wearing blindfolds. Turning to look around, I found that the audience, especially in the direction of the VIP seats, had a lot of people wearing blindfolds on one eye. But Kurama Yakumo didn't think much about it, as Shiranui Genma announced the start of the showdown. Once again, he turned his attention back to the battle. The second round, Uzumaki Naruto vs Gaara, start. Multiple shadow clone technique. Without saying anything, Naruto formed a cross in his hands and formed hundreds of shadow clones in one go, enclosing Gaara layer by layer. How many shadow clones can be separated in one breath? Many Jonin present were taken aback. Many of them dare not divide 10 shadow clones. The loss of chakra is too great, a little carelessness will empty chakra, even life-threatening. Gaara's expression didn't change, and she stood still and didn't move. Embracing his hands in front of the moon, the sand in the gourd swept toward the surrounding shadow clone like a vine whip. Bang bang bang, advertisement shadow clone was continuously broken into white smoke under the cleaning of the sand whip. Basicity, however, although it does not have the speed of Rock Lee, Naruto has a quantitative advantage. Many shadow clones bypassed the sand and hit Gaara by virtue of their agile postures completely different from a month ago. However, there is a shield of sand to protect Gaara. The kid did grow a lot compared to before, but he still couldn't break Gaara's defense. Kankuro commented rather disdainfully, can't my attack power break his defense? In that case? After a long time unable to crack the shield of sand, Naruto suddenly turned his face and quickly stepped back and bit his finger. That Jian gesture is, seeing Naruto's new knot printing technique, many people's faces change. Summoning technique. Puff. The diffused smoke blocked Naruto's body shape, and a yellow toad the size of a lion flew out of it 2 seconds later. Luosha's expression changed slightly, and he secretly clenched his fist and thought. Jiraiya, did you teach that trick to Nine Tails kid? Please, vigorously Toad, use that trick when practicing. Naruto, who was sitting on the back of the yellow toad, asked. Know it. The yellow toad's thick arms quickly became imprinted, and the sides of the frog's face were greatly bulged. Water-style water cannonball technique. It looks like a water-style version of the great fireball hits Gaara's sand shield. The sand is condensed into a solid at once, and the speed is reduced to the limit for a while. Take advantage of it now. Naruto jumped up from the back of the yellow toad and used shadow clone twice, multiple shadow clone technique. Hundreds of Naruto flew out of the smoke. The following dumplings seemed to surround Gaara and punched together. Naruto 500 rounds, endless fists slammed on the condensed sand shield. Everyone clearly saw that the sand shield was broken. Naruto's fist hit Gaara from close range. Naruto is going to win. Haruno Sakura exclaimed in surprise. Kankuro and Temari are astonished and will grow up to be the bosses. God, my goodness, am I right? Gaara, yes, I'm going to lose. Advertisement. The others in the venue were dumbfounded. An unidentified kid who can defeat the Son of Wind, Gaara, who is known as the strongest sand shinobi genin. That is definitely an upset. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a complex complexion. The most important purpose of this Chunin exam is to show the strength of Shinobu Village to representatives of various countries. However, Konoha's reference genin is almost eliminated. Finally stayed on the field to win glory for the village. It's Naruto, the unfortunate orphan who should have hated the village most. Gaara, who was full of pain, had a grinning face, and her heart was also unbelievable. Me, am I going to lose? Lost to this guy? For an instant, in the depths of Gaara's mind, there was only one nerve line called sense. The ridicule broke apart. It seemed to be painful, but also as if there was a roar of excitement. The violent sand was like an exploding bomb, and the overflowing shockwave wiped out countless shadow clone in one go. He also hit the Naruto deity against the wall behind. Cough. After hitting the wall and landing, Naruto coughed up blood. Naruto, who barely got up from the ground, saw Gaara's appearance again. More than half of the body has been covered by yellow sand, and there are deep purple-violet lines on the back surface. Then, what is that? Naruto was puzzled, but the ninjas who had participated in the Battle of the Ninja World had a storm in their hearts. People, Jinchuriki, that kid, is Sand Shinobi's Jinchuriki? Kakashi exclaimed in astonishment, do you want to end this battle? Seeing that Gaara seemed to be running away, Shiranui Genma, the referee, quickly turned his head to look at Sarutobi Hiruzen. If Jinchuriki runs violently, and still runs violently in the village, no one can predict the result. The disaster of Nine Tails 12 years ago was a bloody lesson. Dead Civet Cat, long time no see. At this moment, Naruto recalled a voice in his mind and shouted. Hey, kid, don't be ashamed of me. I will lend you my chakra first.